deux grands noms, Sheikh Bidens et Madilou, qui ont voulu participer à cette fête, qui ont voulu souhaiter à la fois un joyeux anniversaire et surtout célébrer cette victoire. Madilou et Sheikh Bidens qui chantent pour le président et pour Madame Obama Madilou. Sous vos ovations, Madilou. Le grand Madilou.
70e anniversaire. Yamokondi Wabakondi. Le président Omar Bongo Ondimba. Les doyens. Kozala boboto na mokili na ndimi ya solo efutaka. Lifuta ya nzambele kili futi nyonso ya mokili yo. Ala ponaka biponela te. Yango aponi président Bongo Ondimba. Kozala boboto na mokili na ndimi ya solo efutaka. Lifuta ya nzambele kili futi nyonso ya mokili yo. Nzambe aponaka biponela te o. Yango aponi président Bongo Ondimba. Soki aponaki yo mpo eyebaki okozala mokambi malamu ya peuple gabonais. Omar Bongo Ondimba. Soki aponaki yo mpo eyebaki okozala exemple monene ya peuple africain. Omar Bongo. Bateli yo po ayebi boboto na yo na bato. Na kokaba na yo na bato. Omar Bongo Kula tukusa moyo kisi. Baninga bandeko na mama éditeur. Basepeli bon anniversaire Bongo Ondimba. Soki aponaki yo po ayebaki yo kozala mokambi monene ya peuple gabonais. Omar Bongo Ondimba. Soki aponaki yo po ayebaki yo kozala exemple monene ya peuple africain. Omar Bongo Ondimba. Soki abateli yo po ayebi boboto na yo na bato. Na mokambi peuple gabonais. Omar Bongo Ondimba. Pula tukusa mboyo kokisi. Baninga bandeko na Meredite Bongo. Bon anniversaire. Bon anniversaire président Bongo Ondimba.
Bongo Ondimba, bon anniversaire.
Yaya Bongo.
Que Dieu te garde le plus longtemps possible.
Papa Yabana.
Bongo Ondimba, bon anniversaire.
Mokonzi wa bakonzi.
Que Dieu te garde le plus longtemps possible.
Tosengi na Nzambe abatela yo. Abakisela yo mingi. Santé malamu. Omoi molai ye.
Ondimba, bon anniversaire.
Bon anniversaire.
Que Dieu te garde le plus longtemps possible.
Papa Yabana.
Bongo Ondimba, bon anniversaire.
Bon anniversaire.
Que Dieu te garde le plus longtemps possible.
Ma famille, bandeko, mama Edith, peuple gabonais nyonso, va souhaiter président Bongo bon anniversaire.
Bongo Ondimba, bon anniversaire.
Papa Yabana.
Que Dieu te garde le plus longtemps possible. Bongo Ondimba, bon anniversaire. Que Dieu te garde le plus longtemps possible.
Bon anniversaire, nos vœux les plus sincères. Et c'est moi ton biso mitema, les lompeto sakana, Yaya Bongo.
Bongo Ondimba, bon anniversaire.
Maman Edith Bongo.
Que Dieu te garde le plus longtemps possible.
À souhaiter bon anniversaire.
Bongo Ondimba, bon anniversaire. Que Dieu te garde le plus longtemps possible.
Bon anniversaire, Papa Bana, le Merci Mabo Makasi, applaudissez. Applaudissez.
Ingénieur Tumba Kinkela. kende kolonga kende mpe kokonstate lelo eza lelo basekaki ya mingi bacholaki mpe ya toro me lelo nzambe azojustifie yo lelo eza lelo. Celui qui demeure sous l'abri du très haut repose à l'ombre du Tout-Puissant. Zala à l'aise. Lâcher bango moko bakomi balâche. On y va. Parfois mon okwebetaka libaku par manque ya consultation ya cerveau kozala presia koloba te réfléchir.
Salut make you no cry again, no. When I want sleep, my mother go pet me. She go lie me well for bed. Oh. She go buy me clouds, say make you sleep, 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 my pikin no. When I dey hungry, my mother go run up and down. She go find me something where I go chop. Oh. Sweet mother, sweet mother, oh, I love you. When I dey sick, my mother go cry, cry, cry. She go say instead when I go die, make she die. You. She go beg God, God help me, oh, God help me, my pikin no. If ya no sleep, my mother no go sleep. If ya no chop, my mother no go chop. She no dey tire, huh? Sweet mother, I no go forget the suffer where you suffer for me, yeah, yeah. Sweet mother, sweet mother, oh, I love you. Sweet mother, je n'oublierai jamais tout cet amour que tu as su me donner. Sweet mother, je n'oublierai jamais, maman, oh, tout cet amour que tu as su me donner. Quand je pleure, Sweet mother me prend dans ses bras et me dit mon bébé, oh pourquoi tu pleures, yo yo, stop, 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 et ne pleure plus mon bébé, oh. Quand j'ai sommeil, Sweet mother me baisse, me borde bien dans mon lit. Elle me chante une chanson, fais dodo, mon bébé. Oh.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ABS Africa Broadcasting Service, coming to you as usual from the great state of Texas, Houston, Texas, precisely. Thank you for tuning in, and this promises to be very, very exciting. I'd like to welcome all of you joining from ground zero from the country, the new country that we call Ambazonia. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, those of you tuning in from ground one, where we'll call Nigeria. Thank you for tuning in too. And all of you from Europe, from Asia, the Far East and the Near East, South America, and all of the continent USA, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in tonight. This is going to be very, very exciting, educative, and of course informative. I'd like you as usual to please consider going ahead to immediately hit that share button so I can see the numbers jumping out there on the social media. Of course, I am your anchorman, Chris Ano. Once more, thank you for joining the broadcast today. This is going to be very, very exciting and of course educative. For those of you again joining by the way of Facebook, please go ahead, hit that share button. Let us get the numbers jumping and rising so that I can come to you with this very, very special presentation. Go ahead and hit that share button, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Anchorman with yours truly, Chris Anu, of course. So please go ahead, hit that share button. And while you do that, let me see those of you who have already joined the platform. Let me say hello to those of you who are already here. And see what is in your mind. See what you are putting out there. Okay. The past few days have been very, very eventful days. Eventful days on ground zero with La République du Cameroon upping their killing sprees against our people. And all they hope, ladies and gentlemen, is that these killings will cause us to surrender. Of course not. We are not surrendering. Not at all. Not at any moment. Not until we have made it to our federal capital in Boya. So that is not going to twist our minds by any means, by anywhere. Please, again, I'd like you to quickly hit your share button. I want to see the numbers jumping on the screen. Let everybody know out there, the Anchorman is live. In spite of every smear campaign out there, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know what, ladies and gentlemen? When you see irrelevant people, as I would like to call them, irrelevant people making all the audios about you, framing you up, putting out fabrications, false messaging, trying to get Ambazonians to believe that their Anchorman is actually bought over or compromised, you know that you are doing something good, isn't it? We've seen that all over the place. A few days ago, you heard the messages when I came out here to stop any confusion on the ground with an illegal lockdown over the weekend. You know, a barrage of audio messages came out there from the Sako e-commerce camp trying to blackmail, smear yours truly here. But I just like to send a message. I like to send a message to everyone out there who doesn't like this interim government, who doesn't like Iya Marienta, who doesn't like Chris Anu, who doesn't like Dr. Abongwa, that please just focus a little bit on your business, because no amount of setup, no amount of fabrications, no amount of false messaging that you put out there is going to intimidate anyone here at this interim government to pull back for a second. That is not going to happen. The good thing is that Ambazonians have become really, really smart, and they are able to decipher when you speak the truth and when you are a fabricator. They know that. They know which messages to be taken and those that should be ignored. So don't keep on wasting your time putting messages out about Chris. I know, because they will not stand on my way for a second. I will just keep on doing what I do best. You don't have to like it. You really don't have to like it. But you can't stop it. That is a fact. You just cannot stop it. So please, if I were you, I would take a break, because your false messaging and fabricated messaging audios you put out there, they're not making any impact. Everybody out there already know. No truth comes out of your mouth. And for somebody to live, for somebody who says he had dozens of churches dishing them out, to have people come out dishing out audio messages on his behalf. How do you imagine anybody in Ambazonia believes you for a second? Of course they do not. I think I have been very, very consistent for 5 years and counting in this struggle, and nobody, I believe, can beat that record. You don't have to like me for what I say or what I do, but I have remained really, really consistent. I will do that again and again and again and again, no matter the amount of fabrication that you put out there. I will remain here and just keep on doing this. All right, I will get back. Let me see who is here. Please hit your share button quickly. Let's get these numbers. Please, jumping. We can do that. Fun, enjoy. I see you. Same thing Sako is doing to damage your image is same thing you do to ADF. We must all be honest. Okay, same thing, Sako. At least you acknowledge that Sako is trying to damage my image. He can only try, he cannot succeed. Okay, all right. But as far as the ADF is concerned, I have no doubt you are a fan of the ADF. The unfortunate thing is that you see as a Pharisee, and as a Pharisee, that means you see but refuse to see what is real, what is truth. How do you imagine that of the millions of Ambazonians out there, not only one person, not only Chris Anu, speaks against the vices of the ADF? Almost everybody that I know of, except a few fans of the ADF out there, who stand behind what they do. But listen, when I see a good thing, I call it one. When I don't see it, I see it bad, I call it bad. And you guys may be a little bit shocked today. Hit your share button, please. All right. Oh, who is here next? I see Christian Kumbo is always first on this page. Thank you, sir. Rita Inji Moyongo, I see you, ma'am. Hello, my able anchorman. God bless you always. Thank you. Ngwefang Emmanuel, he says, get out. I don't know who he's speaking to. Malam Musa, this must be Alaji, the one and only Alaji, the most powerful activist out there now. Thank you, Alaji, for joining. You guys hit your share button. Joseph in Jubilee. Okay, thank you for joining, sir. I see you. I see also Vivienne Abidu. We on the line, she says. Please, I need to see your numbers. Those of you joining, go ahead and hit your share button. Go ahead and hit your share button. Okay. Who is here? I see Bama John. I see you, sir. I see also Ambazonia. Do you want to write Ambazonia? Okay. Welcome, our anchor man. Thank you. Neighbor, who is here? Neighbor Mumbe Celestine. Thank you. It's a match fire anchor man. It's a matching fire day. Thank you. Groundworks Action says, we all know the truth, Secretary Chris. Keep on. Thank you. At least you are not a Pharisee or Sadducee. Okay. Hit your share button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit your share button. Shetu Awudu, watching from Indiana. Wonderful. Ping An, they say, we are tired of ADF drama, killings, kidnapping of our people. Okay, Theodore, watching from Bamenda. Wonderful. Bruno Atiabe, the Honorable himself. The truth never hides. Absolutely so. Absolutely, the truth never hides. That is why when you speak the truth and act on the truth, you never have to be scared of enablers, blacklists, and people out there from Mr. Sako's camp who think that they can just blackmail you. They started saying Chris Anu is compromised. Since when did they start that? You guys remember that? About 6 months ago, ladies and gentlemen, about 6 months ago, it was Chris. They said Chris Anu ran away from the audit, right? Guess who is running away from the audit? Somewhere. Ikome Sako running away from the audit. I don't want to get into that today, but please go ahead and hit your share button. I got something to talk about. Ojonga Kabum Michelle, thank you. It's a little difficult name there to pronounce. Ambazonian voice, great. Okay, Julius Kwan, I see you. G. Lawrence, thank you. I see you. I see also Joseph Njibali, I mentioned you. Asong Brandon, I see you. Tata Konja. Andre DiCarlo, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Your boss is here, Andre DiCarlo. All right. Okay. I see also Bertrand Ayog looking good, Secretary Chris. Come on, you don't have to look good, right? All right, but thank you. Stephen Park, I brought the deal to him. You are right. All right, you are right. Not you, I actually did. You know, one thing with that deal is that many of his supporters have been thinking that Chris will come out saying, no, I did not bring any deal. I did not bring, ladies and gentlemen, when I say it, I mean it. I brought the deal, no apologies for it. I will do it again and again and again for as long as it doesn't become a personal secret to those who bring it to, for as long as it serves the cause that we all fight for. And that is why it was there. And that is why I brought it. And those who were involved know that was exactly what it was meant for. To save Ambazonia, to empower. Just imagine, ladies and gentlemen, if that deal, this man had not hijacked it and put it in his pocket, every Ambazonian restoration fighter will be carrying an AK-47. And I mean every one of them. Every one of them. This is what we had in mind when we brought on that deal. Now we're hearing of 600 million. I don't know whether that guy is correct. But we hear about 600 million taken in FACO. We hear of multiple millions taken in FACO. And what happened when the millions began to come out, to be coughed out from FACO? FACO died. FACO died. Nothing happened in FACO. I have just seen a video footage today of some ARFs coming together in the Bansa in Bui. The Bui warriors coming out and saying, our only president, the only one that we know is somewhere. Ikome Sako, ladies and gentlemen. And I see Sako saying he is distributing money to all over the place. And I asked the question, where is FACO in all of this? Why are we not seeing any fighter in FACO? Why are we not being told money is being given to FACO? What is happening with FACO? That is somewhere in Sako's backyard, ladies and gentlemen. That is his backyard. What is going on there? This is the point. You can dish out money to as many fighters as you want and group them to sit there and sing your praises as much as you want. If you are in this struggle and you claim to be a leader in your backyard, your county, your LGA is not fighting, you are nothing, empty. You should be hiding somewhere. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. Please go ahead, hit your share button. This is going to be very, very exciting today. I like to bring you, if you do a little house cleaning here before I bring you the subject proper of this broadcast. First, ladies and gentlemen, something is going on out there. Something is happening out there. Got up this morning, listened to an audio message put out there by Frank Chenye. For those of you who do not know who Frank Chenye is, Frank Chenye is Sako's treasurer. He is Sako's treasurer in quote. And he is the guy who channels all of Sako's money to all the dubious and fraudulent locations that you can imagine of. That is Frank, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen. That is Frank Chenye on your screen. So we got up this morning to an audio message by Frank Chenye. And Frank Chenye is warning Ambazonians and actually warning men of the National Treasury to stop taking their funds, ladies and gentlemen, to stop taking their funds. And Frank Chenye is very, very bitter, very, very bitter that $25, only $25, ladies and gentlemen, just $25 has been taken out of his account, not by anybody in this interim government, but that money is taken out, ladies and gentlemen, by the CID. You know, the way the CID website works, if you are subscribed with the CID, every month, the money automatically gets out of your account to Ambazonia Foundation. Thousands of Ambazonians are subscribed to that account. They were subscribed when Sako was there. They are still subscribed as Marianta is there. Now, Sako has been trying, after hijacking that CID account, trying to hijack it to no avail, ladies and gentlemen. Now, many of you out there would have known that Sako, of course, tried hijacking the treasury, Ambazonia Foundation, and the accounts associated with Ambazonia Foundation. So, after trying that, your government, the government of Iya Mariente, took it back, ladies and gentlemen, by force. She took it back by force and got it under our column. Took the website by force, got it under our column, the column of this interim government. Took the CID website with the payments by force, have it under our column. This is what Sako and his cronies have done. They now pick the three people who have the signatures on the treasury. Secretary Richard Tangu, Frida Ashu, and Blaise. They send them some letters. No, I don't want to say it's not a lawsuit. They send them letters from an attorney office threatening them. You do not surrender those accounts within 7 days. Blah, 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 blah. We'll take you to court or something like that. These guys are very stupid. They just don't understand. They live in America where the law works, ladies and gentlemen. And you could see their activists coming on the social media and saying, finally, we got them. You got nothing back. Not a single one of those accounts is returning to Sako, because Sako has no power, no legitimacy over anything interim government of Ambazonia. I don't know what it is going to take him to realize he was not only impeached, he was impeached and removed. And those accounts, as we know them, again, they are called Ambazonia Foundation. They are called the CID, and they are called Southern Cameroon something. They belong to the legitimate government that runs Ambazonia, that prosecutes this Ambazonian struggle. Sako should be told, if it is possible, break his head and put it in there. Let him understand he has no longer any legitimacy over anything in Ambazonia. The records are there. The Restoration Council is there. And everything, the banking records are there. Mr. Sako should know those bank accounts on the website, they are not his property. And for those of you who are hanging in there and try to usurp authority in this interim government by hanging behind Sako and putting your signatures to those fraudulent documents, be very, very careful, because this thing will go messy. I can assure you it is about going messy, and some of you will regret. You will regret you indulge in this fraudulent act that Sako is hiding behind, pushing you. He doesn't put his name, somebody. He doesn't put his name, but he hides behind, push people to affix their signatures to fraudulent documents, and they say they want to sue Richard Tangu, Frida Ashu, and Blaise. Come on, for doing their job. Sako, they go overnight. Ambazonians, listen to me, how fraudulent this guy is. They go and sit down overnight, change the board of directors of Ambazonia Foundation overnight. And they do not call the signatories or the signatures in that board. And before they know, they went to the bank, removed their names, affixed new names, new signatures. When they know the law says all the board members must sit in that meeting for any changes to be made, unless they are unreachable. Unless they are unreachable, the board members must all sit in that meeting to cause a change in that document. They did not do that. And they think there is a court that is going to rule in their favor somehow, somewhere, with this fraudulent thing, and engaging the banks, the big banks. They are mistaken. But listen, this is Frank Chenye, ladies and gentlemen. Frank Chenye put out an audio today. He put out an audio today saying that a fraud has been perpetrated upon him. Now let me explain something, give you a little background about Frank Chenye, somebody. Frank Chenye was the Under Secretary of, I think it was Home Affairs, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was Under Secretary for Home Affairs under Sako's government. Now, this is the guy. Look at his face, ladies and gentlemen. He's a penitentiary staff, I think, in the New York or so. Now, this is the guy. This is the guy. Most of the money that left the National Treasury of Ambazonia with Sako's signature affixed on the requisition passed through. That is the guy. Again, this is the guy. Frank Chenye, who introduced, who brought Sako. It is Frank Chenye and Mungwa Martin. Mungwa Martin, ladies and gentlemen. These are the two guys who brought Sako into the Bitcoin business. And they began. Now, let me take it this way first. Frank Chenye, every dime that Sako took out of the treasury, in the pretense of sending it to Fako, or sending it to Ground 1, or sending it to Bui, or sending it to Mezam, or sending it. This is the guy who carried out those transactions. This is the guy who carried out the transactions. Now, Frank Chenye has put out an audio today claiming that he is being defrauded by this interim government of Iya Marienthal of $25. What is $25, ladies and gentlemen? What is $25? But he says he is being defrauded of $25 in the CID, compulsory independence dues, as we call it, compulsory independent dues. And he is out there threatening. He will sue. I don't know how this guy sits there and think that what he does threatens anybody or makes sense in that place. Ambazonians, listen to me. As I said, this guy is the chief Bitcoin kingpin. The chief Bitcoin kingpin in this Sako thing. This is the guy. This is the guy, ladies and gentlemen, who will take your money, your contributions, use it to buy Bitcoin without informing you. And I'm not making this up. I'd like you to take a look. I'd like you to take a look at some of these receipts, ladies and gentlemen. Many of you have not seen this. You've not seen this. Look at the receipts. Look at these receipts coming from Wata na Wata. The receipts coming from Wata na Wata. They are all Bitcoin receipts, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look. Take a look at that. You see that? You purchase Bitcoin. Bitcoin purchase $1,025. Guess who was doing the Bitcoin purchase? Who was doing that? It was Frank Chenye. Another receipt shows $250 Bitcoin purchase. Now look at the third column, on your right, or the first column on your right. It says Wata na Wata movement. 2, F stands for Frank Chenye. F stands for Frank Chenye. So in other words, Frank Chenye was going into Ambazonia's account, Wata na Wata account, making payments, buying Bitcoin with your contributions, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this one again. Again, this is Frank Chenye. This is Frank Chenye. You see $2,030 bought out of your contributions. Bought out of your contributions. And then you also find $2,050. And then you also have another $2,035. All this bought out of your hard-earned money. Bought out of your hard-earned money. That is what Ambazonians have been going through. And when some of us come out and blow the whistle about it, they go out and try to frame us up. This is Ambazonia's money that Frank Chenye was taking out from Wata na Wata account, ladies and gentlemen. Taking out from Wata na Wata account and putting out there, investing it on Bitcoin. He was taking out your money and investing it in Bitcoin. It's surprisingly, ladies and not surprisingly, of course, not surprisingly, he is now Sako's defense minister. Yeah, he is now Sako's defense minister. Sako puts him in a strategic position. Now, remember that in the interim government, where money is spent, it's on defense. So anybody sitting in the defense position either touches money or knows where money goes to. from the county to the LGS. They know where money goes to, ladies and gentlemen. So Sako has now made Frank Chenye, their Bitcoin kingpin, the Secretary of Defense in his quasi-government. And Frank Chenye is out there making noise, sounding as an angel who should be respected. Ambazonians, I believe you are seeing the truth. You are seeing the truth. This is money. You guys can see, take a look at that. Bitcoin purchase. We do not make up this thing when they say that they take your money and buy Bitcoins. Look at it for yourself today. And this is Frank Chenye buying these Bitcoins. Somebody. And I'm telling you, this story can only get better. It only gets better. There is another story that is coming up. I will be bringing it to you in the days ahead. Still about this young man and Ngo Ketunja Kaba, Bitcoin Kaba that hangs behind Sako. You will not believe they sit in the diaspora, get their guys on ground zero, abduct people and collect millions from them. And we sit here on television shouting and rebuking the restoration fighters on the ground as kidnapping people. But there are people sitting in responsible positions in the diaspora asking boys on the ground to abduct people and take money. And this money, we have laid our hands on some records that will shock you guys. All right. But let me say this. Mr. Chenye, please forget about you. Stop wailing over your $25, sir. That is nothing compared to the money, to the amount you have robbed Ambazonians of. That is nothing. Nothing again compared to the amount of money you have robbed Ambazonians of in Bitcoin, in Bitcoins, in Bitcoins. And if you think that the courts are there only to look for those who took your $25, Mr. Chenye, the time is coming, you will explain. You will explain why you will take corporate money and invest in Bitcoin. And invest in Bitcoin. All right. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I take you to a different subject now. Now, a few days ago, I came here and told you about the 40 Ambazonian youths abducted in Oku about a week ago now. As of today that I come to you, those youths remain unfound. Their whereabouts remain unknown. You can see their faces there. Nobody knows where they are. And we hope that people who write reports will be reporting about the whereabouts of these 40 Ambazonians whose faces you find on the screen. The Republic du Cameroon armies whisked them off in the convoy, a bike convoy, while they returned from a funeral last week. And again, as I speak to you, nobody knows where they are. But La Republique du Cameroon definitely knows where they are. And we can't wait, ladies and gentlemen, until their whereabouts is exposed and released. Until their whereabouts is exposed and released. Now let me take you to Manu. Somebody, let me take you to Manu. Let's see what is happening in Mamfe, ladies and gentlemen. Mamfe, look at that.
My two rock up, yes, yes. La koja di susto. La koja di susto. La koja di susto. Yes. Oram param. My two pack oram param. My two pack oram param. Tupac aura bonhomme. Mon aïeul aura bonhomme. My Tupac aura bonhomme. Show la ball me on the plus. Oh yeah, I fight but oh yeah. I fight but oh yeah. General Fellow blow yeah. Commander Akoja oh yeah. Now we are there for Manu or I burn my Tupac today. May I see him. May I call me. May I become. And this, they say man you know the hot. They say man you know the hot. But don't make another no sir. Man you go start hot because we don't wake up for sleep. My commander Akoja this where the talk. Wanna hear them?
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
I put me on the plus. Oh yeah, I fight but oh yeah. I fight but oh yeah. General Fellow blow yeah. Commander Akoja oh yeah. Now we are there for Manu or I burn my Tupac today. May I see him. May I call me. May I become. And this, they say man you know the hot. They say man you know the hot. But don't make another no sir. Man you go start hot because we don't wake up for sleep. My commander Akoja this where the talk. Wanna hear them? This show will put me on the plus. Oh yeah, I fight but oh yeah. I fight but oh yeah. General Fellow blow yeah. Commander Akoja oh yeah. Now we are there for Manu or I burn my Tupac today. May I see him. May I call me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that technical hitch there. Sorry about that technical hitch there. We are all back and doing okay. So please, thank you for staying put. Again, La République du Cameroon, La République du Cameroon, please know this. What you see in Manfé is only a drop in a bucket of what is coming up, especially towards this 20th May, ladies and gentlemen. I said here last week that 20th May will be the last thing that, or should be, the last thing that Ambazonians think, anybody Ambazonian thinks about. 20th May remains that day in which we were brought into this war, in the sense that that is what made us the day that officially La République du Cameroon officially used to make us slaves. And so what lies ahead will be left to be seen. We are telling everybody, begin to prepare for a big lockdown. Begin to prepare for a big lockdown in the coming days, around the 20th May. Nothing 20th May will take place in our territory. 20th May was a fraud that was meted upon us by French Cameroon colonialists. And we have forever marked an end to that nonsense called 20th May. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I will now take you to the subject of the day. The subject of the day. The arrest or abduction of Regina Mundi. The abduction of Regina Mundi and the battle that lies before the ADF. The challenge, I call it, the challenge that lies before the ADF. Before I take you into that, please sit in there for 1 minute before I come back to that.
Honorable Joseph Wirba gathers Ambazonians. The time for his long-awaited great vision for the liberation of Ambazonia has come. The vision that inspired him to stand up for Southern Cameroons in Cameroon's parliament to condemn Ambazonia's subjugation. The vision that got the oppressors hunting for his head. Wirba's vision for the freedom of Ambazonia is even stronger and clearer today than before. Let's come together, stand by him and with him. Join him in Stuttgart, Germany for the great come together on freeing Ambazonia. Wirba now has a direct route to Ambazonia's liberation. All routes lead to Stuttgart, Germany on Saturday, May 14th. Be there. Honorable Joseph Wirba gathers Ambazonians. The time for his long-awaited great vision for the liberation of Ambazonia has come. The vision that inspired him to stand up for Southern Cameroons in Cameroon's parliament to condemn Ambazonia's subjugation. The vision that got the oppressors hunting for his head. Wirba's vision for the freedom of Ambazonia is even stronger and clearer today than before. Let's come together, stand by him and with him. Join him in Stuttgart, Germany for the great come together on freeing Ambazonia. Wirba now has a direct route to Ambazonia's liberation. All routes lead to Stuttgart, Germany on Saturday, May 14th. Be there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, I take you into my talking point for today. And I consider this very, very important, owing to what is going on. The abduction of La République du Cameroon's senator, popularly known by the name of Regina Mundi. And I call this a challenge. A very, very big one to the ADF. Over the weekend, news of the abduction of Regina Mundi, a Bamenda resident and a long-time member of the CPDM and senator, emerged in a social media video footage confirming the allegation. Senator Regina Mundi is seen in the video footage seated rather comfortably or relaxed on a cushion. The scene is suggestive of the fact that she is being properly taken care of by her captors. A lot can also be gleaned from the short video footage. Among other things, the senator is captured reading supposedly her own resignation from the CPDM. But there is no doubt the letter must have been forced upon her by her captors. She tenders her resignation from the CPDM in the Cameroon Senate and then urges the rest of Southern Cameroon's members still serving the Cameroon regime to do just the same. Resign. She demands, Mama Regina Mundi demands that La République du Cameroun should leave Ambazonia and acknowledge the demarcation that separates the two countries from independence in 1961. Regina Mundi is made to say some of the things that she has never said for her decade serving the Yaoundé regime. Looking calm and collected, she says, reading from the piece of paper, that La République du Cameroun should recognize the independence of Ambazonia and pull out her invading and genocidal troops from Ambazonia and then end the war. Let's observe a number of things here. First, in the backdrop of where she sits and read her purported resignation letter, an Ambazonian flag and a seal or an emblem is seen, suggesting or identifying her captors to be the ADF. This is further confirmed by the fact that once the abduction became public knowledge, Cho Ayaba, chairman of IPOA-GovC, put out one of those vague public relations statements. I have been braved. I've been braved. To show that the ADF actually carried out the abduction of Senator Mundi. The point I'm establishing here is this. As of this moment, it is no longer a matter of who abducted Regina Mundi. The question is whether she should have been abducted in the first place. The question is whether she qualifies or falls within the ranks of those we describe as enablers, blacklegs in this struggle. And if indeed she does, she qualifies, what then is going to happen to her? What would the ADF do now that she is under lock and key? There is a segment among us who have launched furious attacks at the ADF for abducting Mrs. Mundi. They make two arguments against her abduction. First, they say she is too old to be locked up. And second, they say she's of our own extraction. She is Ambazonian. They would prefer the ADF was rather in the business of picking up francophones, not anglophones as they call it. To them, Regina Mundi is one of us. Some have even suggested that the whole thing may just be a setup, an arrangement between La République du Cameroun and the ADF meant to leverage the ADF as an actual opponent of La République du Cameroun. Now, this is my take on this. And again, it is my take, not that of this interim government. For a long time, Ambazonians have been accusing the ADF as a good-for-nothing force. For all its existence, the only resume that the ADF has created for itself is that of abduction and ransom taking from innocent civilians who are our own suffering people. The ADF has had no single battle to prove their existence in the war to fight La République du Cameroun. Of all they have kidnapped and taken huge ransoms in the past, not a single francophone is known to be among them. All ADF victims have been Ambazonians, and not even what we call enablers or blacklegs, with the exception of the case of John Frundi. They all have been innocent civilians, Ambazonian civilians. Regina Mundi and John Frundi are the first enablers, or call them blacklegs, that the ADF have ever captured. In the past, I have not shielded my distaste and fury over the kidnappings and killings by the ADF. I have been very vocal, if not the most vocal, against those practices. I have demanded on many occasions that the ADF actually shows all of us where their battlefields are, where they have been over the past 5 years. Of course, I still stand by these assertions. However, for the first time, I would like to give kudos to the ADF for actually picking up a re-enabler, a re-enemy of the struggle. Mrs. Regina Mundi actually falls within the ranks of those elites we have all yearned to capture for a model lesson to others. Again, the ADF deserves some credit here. Yeah, they do. There are many other Mundis still out there, ladies and gentlemen, living as fugitives. And do not be mistaken, I am not referring to Francophones. No, Ambazonians. Francophones are not fugitives. They are enemies, sworn enemies. They are the ones we fight against. The fugitives we must get our own chiefs, the Fons who are dining and whining with the regime in Yaoundé. They are the so-called parliamentarians and senators in the order of Regina Mundi. They are the so-called elite and ministers who pretend to speak for all of us, whereas all they do is serve and empower our colonial master to continue the genocidal war and crimes against our people. They are the mayors. They are the prefets or divisional officers. They are the French Cameroon magistrates or the procureur generals, lording it over us in our own courts, ladies and gentlemen. They are their governors too. They are fugitives. They have never been elected. They are imposed upon us. Lastly, they are everything in La République du Cameroon military and paramilitary, sent to monitor us and kill us like in a military state. They say that there is always a beginning for everything, and I believe it, which is why for the first time I give kudos to the ADF for this one enabler they have in custody. You may say, but it's just one person. That is true, yes. But it is very symbolic of the good that the ADF can do to this struggle if they can repent, do a turnaround, and focus on the enemy. You pick up 5 Mundis. La République du Cameroon will at last begin to get the message that it's only a matter of time until we have all of their enablers under our custody, locked and keyed. To those who argue that Mrs. Mundi ought not to be in custody because she is just an old woman, and that she's not a Francophone, but one of us. The question I will pose to you is, why are you trying to sound like we have privileged enablers and blacklegs? Why? Yes, she's Ambazonian, and so what? She's a blackleg enabler. How is she different from Paul Atanganji, from John Frundi? How is she different from Joseph Mbanda, from the chiefs and the Fons? How is Mundi different? Throughout the 5 years of this war, ladies and gentlemen, children have been gunned down in the streets of Bamenda. I mean Ambazonian children. Whole families in villages rendered homeless, and our people have been taken to the streets again and again and again and again to protest these acts of savagery. Show me one picture of Mrs. Mundi leading any of those protesters, ladies and gentlemen, against the treatment of our people. Show me one. Show me a photo of Senator Regina Mundi in Yaoundé leading the case in their so-called Senate against the subjugation of our people or against this genocidal war. Show me one video, one photo. Show me a single photo of Senator Mundi taking bread to our refugees or what they call internally displaced. Show me a photo of Mrs. Mundi visiting the razed, the burnt homes and villages of our people. Show me a photo of Mundi visiting the bereaved, the killed in Bali, in Pinyin, in Ngaribo, in Guzang, among others, ladies and gentlemen. Show me one. Let me ask all of you who are out there trying to advocate for her, if it was okay for Cardinal Tumi to be picked up despite his age, if it was okay for Frundi to be picked up, if it was okay for the fund of Ensor to be picked up, and the funds of Babungo to be picked up, if it was okay for the chiefs of Fako to be picked up, why should Regina Mundi's case be treated any differently? Why? Why? Tell me, where is the consistency here? Or is your worry just based on the fact that the perpetrators, the kidnappers, are the ADF? I can understand the lack of trust we all have of the ADF. But what if they were to capture more of these enablers into custody and seem to be confronting more proponents of our common enemy, the Republic du Cameroon? Will you still have a problem with them? Now, to the ADF, having said this, you have a golden opportunity to redeem your image now, to prove to Ambazonians once and for all that your battles are actually against La République du Cameroon with their enablers and not against Ambazonian civilians struggling to survive under the scourge of war they did not plan for. For the past 5 years of this war, the ADF and the leadership of IPOA-GovC have comported themselves not as fools, but as friends, as allies, as partners of La République du Cameroon. Nothing the ADF did convinced the majority of Ambazonians, including the international community, that they are actually fighting La République du Cameroon. It is one of the reasons why nobody wants to give them the benefit of the doubt, even in the present case of Mrs. Mundi. But they have such an opportunity, the ADF have such an opportunity to prove the naysayers and the skeptics, including myself, wrong. This is the moment they can prove to everyone that they are indeed fighting against La République du Cameroon, not the civilian population and not sister legitimate fighters in the ARF. This is the moment the ADF proves wrong. Those who say the abduction of Mrs. Mundi is just a stage play set up from Yaoundé, or just another money-making abduction and ransom-taking scheme, the ADF can prove us otherwise. The ADF has given us precondition for Mrs. Mundi's freedom, the release from Kondenge prison of Ngala Info. Sounds like a great idea, isn't it? But I am skeptical of this demand. Could it be an agreement between the ADF and Yaoundé to get Info Ngala for release on account of his own old age in exchange for Mrs. Mundi's? This ADF exchange condition does not go deep enough. Ms. Mundi is such a big wick in the regime and too important for them. An offer for a single prisoner out of thousands. If the ADF is serious, they should keep her as ransom for all the Naira 10, not just one prisoner. Or how about the 40 bike riders abducted last week in Oku? Or better still, all Ambazonia political prisoners held captive in Kondenge, in Boya, in Bamenda, in Bafoussam, in Douala. How about them? I'm afraid what the ADF is promising to do, they are not going to do it. This may just end up as another money-making abduction exercise. Whatever direction they take can only help Ambazonians understand them better. Take them for who they are and see on whose side they actually fight. That is the challenge, ladies and gentlemen. That is the challenge before the ADF today. And that was my talking point. Now, quite a number of people out there who have said, why would you pick up a woman as old as Regina Mundi? Yes, indeed. She's an old lady, an old woman. Let me, before I bring in my panel, bring you Regina Mundi to present the message that she was made to present in Bamenda. Listen, ladies and gentlemen.
I, Madame Regina Mundi, an Ambazonia by birth and nationality. Today, the 30th of April 2022, of Ambazonia in La Republique, to also resign and join our brothers to fight and push La Republique out of our country. Ask La Republique to maintain their boundaries as from independence. We should note that it is our right to fight and maintain our territorial integrity. Thanks. Long live the Federal Republic of Ambazonia.
Long live the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Thank you, Miss Regina Mundi, our senator. Ladies and gentlemen, I remember being in secondary school, Form 1 secondary school. I am talking about the early 80s, at least I think 1982. That was when I began hearing about Miss Regina Mundi. She was this big shot. And where was she a big shot? Where did she make her name? She made her name as a staunch militant supporter of the CPDM. Now, some of you may have forgotten this. Senator Regina Mundi's home in Bamenda was once burnt down for her support for the CPDM. I remember this was done in the days of the active days of the SDF. Her house was burned down for the same reason that she is being abducted today by members of the ADF. So again, I really ask myself, to those who wonder why she should be under arrest or abduction, why she doesn't merit it. Ladies and gentlemen, the question, do we have any preferred or privileged black legs and enablers? Do we? All right, I am joined, ladies and gentlemen, by my comrade here from London, who happened to be the leader of Ambazonia, the indigenous people of Ambazonia, Dr. Florentine. He is joining me from London, and he is one of those, ladies and gentlemen, who has advocated, who has condemned the ADF vehemently for abducting Dr. Regina Mundi. And it is a little bit surprising because I know the IPOA of Dr. Florentine is in a kind of alliance with the ADF. But he has come out really, really surprisingly going after the ADF. And look at me here, actually I'm praising, giving kudos to the ADF for doing this. Can you imagine that? Dr. Florentine, good to have you, sir. If you can tune your camera a little bit, I will appreciate it. All right. It's good to have you, sir.
Comrade Chris Arnold, thank you for the invitation. And I want to thank our televiewers and all and in the diaspora. We are faced today with a situation where Mrs. Regina Mundi, a mother to thousands, tens of thousands of indigenous Ambazonians, was unfortunately picked up and being used now as a tool for ransom collection, as you've said. For us, the IPOA, we have looked at the whole thing and we believe it is more of a political
Doctor, I would like you to hold on in there. Let me introduce the other guests, and I get back to you and we'll delve into the discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, I also have with me on the set the one face that all of you know very well, Comrade Sama Thomas. Please tilt your camera slightly. Comrade Sama, tilt your camera a little bit, please. All right. Thank you. So again, I am being joined by Sama Thomas. Good to see you, sir.
Good afternoon, Secretary Chris, and my fellow panelists. Good evening, Dr. Florentine, from England. And thank you, Secretary Chris, for having me once more in this program.
All right, wonderful. I also have with me Dr. Asibon, who has been very, very vocal. In fact, there's an audio out there that has gone viral on the social media coming from him. Dr. Asibon, please, if you can tilt, just bend your camera slightly. That would be great, sir.
Yes. When I bend the camera, my face is upside down. Is it correct with you?
All right, leave it there, leave it there, leave it where it is right now. I will get it adjusted here. Just stay in there. Let me go back to Dr. Florentine. Dr. Florentine, again, tell us, you are in alliance. The IPOA has an alliance with the IPOA-GovC, and the person who abducted Miss Regina Mundi is the ADF, an arm of IPOA-GovC. Why are you very bitter about this, sir?
I want to, first of all, correct you on one aspect. We are not in alliance with the IPOA-GovC. The IPOA, Indigenous People of Ambazonia's governing council that I lead and happen to be the founder, is in the CDN, the Coalition for Dialogue and Negotiation, with the IPOA-GovC ADF. And we recently had a meeting last month in Germany, in Stuttgart, Germany, where we looked at commonalities for all groups to be working together. So we're not in an alliance per se, and actually our memorandum of understanding is still in the process of being hammered and signed by all members. So what's happening here is we felt it was not necessary, and we've been advising the IPOA-GovC and other groups that have carried out such acts of harassing, kidnapping, especially of our own elders, our fonts, our clergies, and demanding ransom, that it is counterproductive. And we don't see any need for that. If we are condemning La République du Cameroun for not being democratic enough to give us the chance to have even a referendum for us to vote. Then we are on the other side are saying, oh, all indigenous Ambazonians before our sovereignty. Then that rings an alarm bell in the international community that we are not really tolerant enough and not ready to run our own state. So this is a big problem.
Dr. Florentine, let me stop you there a little bit. Do you agree with me, sir, that there are people in this struggle, there are people in the southern Cameroon that are qualified to be labeled as enablers and blacklegs? Do you agree with that description?
I will not at this stage be labeling people. For many reasons, people have chosen or believed in a line of thought. Perhaps they have been coerced by the colonial regime of Cameroon that I continuously condemn because they didn't do enough to stop this war. In fact, they actually declared on November 2017, Paul Biya himself declared war against Ambazonia. And they have been perpetrating acts of violence and heinous crimes. Today we are talking of 40 of our bike riders missing. We have been working absolutely day and night to get those boys released. And not only Mrs. Mundi, we are happy to also announce to indigenous Ambazonians that Paddy Young has been released. The elders to the Fawn on Sir in the Saltland have been released. So we are really demanding, really asking, appealing to Comrade Cho Ayaba, and I've sent people to him. I've talked with Dr. Larry Ayamba the other day, and he actually escaped from the conversation. He said, oh, I'm at work, I'll call you back, bro, I'll call you back. He's a wonderful brother, but I think he knew where I was coming from. It is counterproductive. We have said picking up our people is not the right way. It's a wrong move. It's a very, very bad move. In the IPOA-GovC, we do not discriminate. There are GovC members in the IPOA. There are IG followers in the IPOA because they've recognized you are an indigenous Ambazonian before being anything else. And we welcome from day one, even unionists who have now all converted to buying our ideology of restoring our sovereignty. It's a matter of convincing people, not kidnapping them and asking them 20 million francs CFA. If you want to level Mrs. Regina Mundi and enabler, then you should as well.
If I may ask you, this, sir.
Let me finish, Comrade Cristiano. Let's every single indigenous Ambazonia holding a CFA franc is an enabler. Anyone working with any of the institutions of the colonial government of the Republic of Cameroon is an enabler.
So tell me, please, what currency should those on ground zero be using?
That's a good question, and that's why I believe in dialogue.
No, you have answered. It's a good question. You are right, but I think you are trying to escape the answer. What currency? If you call all of them enablers, what should they be using?
Comrade Chris, at the beginning of this struggle, a lot of different organizations came up with their AMBAC kind of currency. What happened to it?
Yes, go on. I can hear you.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that we need to come together, and I think we are not listening to people even like Nijon Frundi. I don't accept his point of view. He's in the minority. But the thing is, we must come together and harmonize ideas, look at commonalities, look at ways that we can solve these things. Because comrade, I am a little bit taken aback when you refer to Frundi as one of those we should go and work with or align with. Are you fighting for Ambazonia, for a free Ambazonia? No.
Is the IPOA actually for a free and independent Southern Cameroons?
The IPOA is for the restoration of our sovereignty the restoration of the sovereignty of Ambazonia. 100%. I talking to you is for the restoration of the sovereignty of Ambazonia. But I will say this, we will not go an inch without talking with those who believe in one Cameroon, who, by the way, constitute less than 1% of Ambazonia. So that's why I'm saying, we are not listening to people like John Frundi, who has even caused us some harm. I understand. But we're not listening to him.
If La République du Cameroon sees a Frundi as a nobody, why do you think that Ambazonia should click behind him to do what and to look for what?
I have not prescribed the concept of clicking behind John Frundi. He failed us. Get me right, he failed us. But listen, as a people, we will not start alienating others who think different, who are even in the minority. They will be doing like La République du Cameroun. If La République du Cameroun thinks most of our people want one Cameroon, let them give us a referendum as those who have ascribed for that or called for that. I don't want that. We don't need a referendum. But the thing is, if they say, let me just finish. If John Frundi says, for example, Padia Sanga and all those other people, they are saying they did not decide, they did not come to an agreement with us to start a war. They are saying this. We are not listening. So I think the whole aspect of us all coming together, and that's why I like what CDN is doing. In fact, they bypassed us. They were very fast in getting to that step, because the IPOA was that umbrella which I founded to bring everybody together. Majority of Ambazonians are for the restoration of the state of Ambazonia, which is what I stand for as well. That's why I founded it and called it Ambazonia, not prawns, not Cameroons.
Well, comrade, as far as the CDN is concerned, I am very worried about any organization that will take us back to La République du Cameroun. We left La République du Cameroun. I don't think we have any intentions of going back there, and so far, that is where I see the CDN heading to. But let me get to Comrade Samuel Thomas. I will get back to you. Comrade Samuel Thomas, you are one of those who have been accused of being a supporter, a water carrier for the ADF. What do you make of this abduction of Regina Mundi?
Thank you, Secretary, for that question. Let me say something before coming there as concerned Comrade Florentine's position. Comrade Florentine is a guy that I would say innocent, but is afraid of having sex because he's afraid of AIDS, and knowing fully well that a child can only come through sex. With that said and done, let me go back to Regina Mundi and the ADF being kidnappers. Comrade Chris, the ADF, as I know, had a bad side all the same as they have their good side. They are good at kidnapping. I will cite an incident that took place about 2 months ago. They kidnapped Comrade Vance's brother. I spoke with them to see if we can release Comrade Vance's brother, but the only thing they keep on saying is we're going to kill him if their wasn't paid, and by the end of the day, ransom was paid. Come to Regina Mundi. No Southern Cameroonian had elected Regina Mundi to represent the Cameroon House of Senate, whatever they call it. Arrested, I will put it this way, arrested and not kidnapped.
Why would you use the word arrest?
No, he is arrested. She is arrested.
Why?
Why is she's an enabler, enabling the occupational system to keep on killing Southern Cameroonians. So she ought to be arrested. I've even asked for her head. For those who are put on her behalf, that she's too old to be arrested. Is it that Mrs. Mundi is too old to be arrested, but is not too old to be an enabler and be in La Republique's House of Senate as a kid? Whether his contemporaries are her contemporaries still alive? Is she only interested about her own interest or the interest of the masses? She is a greedy woman, a greedy octogenarian, a greedy great-grandmother that does not even think good of her own great-grandchild. So she's better in her grave than being alive. I hope the AGF will serve the ultimate goal that Mrs. Mundi deserves of a treasonable fellow who had committed treasonable felony against the state of the Southern Cameroons by killing over 40,000 Southern Cameroonians. Mrs. Mundi's head or blood cannot be more than that of over 40,000 Southern Cameroonians who have been killed. She should be killed. That is my position.
All right. We are also being joined by Dr. Asibong, I think joining us from Boston, and he has been very, very vocal against the abduction of Miss Mundi, and you call it arrest. Dr. Asibong, why is Sama Thomas wrong, sir?
Not Sama Thomas. Everything about the revolution is wrong. In medicine, for a surgeon to operate a hernia case, there's a procedure. They may even tell you not to wait before the operation. And in the day of the operation, the nurses will shave you before they prepare you before the doctor will start his work. When in a revolution, those who pretend to be the leaders decide not to use technicians to handle the thing from the start, we find the situation in which we are now. All the leaders of this revolution were only interested about their own position as presidents. That is why, as I'm talking, there are 13 people.
Dr. Asibong, I'd like you to answer the question. Why is Sama Thomas wrong for the abduction of Regina Mundi?
Good. Number one, for you to stop a revolution, which I was taught in class as a student undergraduate, you have to make the population to be against the fighters. And in that regard, Cameroon is winning. Because they have people in Ngole, they have Professor Gapsa, who are my colleagues in political science. They have told President Biya, don't even worry yourself to fight those people. Use the weakest link in their group. When they kill themselves, as the killings in Guzang and the retaliations in Bui,
they are not killing them. I think you are getting the fact wrong, sir. The killings in Guzang were carried out by La Republique du Cameroon soldiers.
Okay, no problem. Now let's go to Mundi. I expected the last speaker and ADF to have captured a governor or an SDO or the SDO's wife too. You would have told your parliamentarians the first 6 months of this revolution to leave Yaoundé. And if they don't leave Yaoundé, you go for them. If you cannot do that, then stop thinking that you can be free. If you don't have the guts to impose your will on the population during a revolution, we say in political science, you need 15% autocracy to handle a revolution. All your leaders have failed. Chuayaba issued a communique last year, July. Up till now, he threatened to do something. He has done nothing. So Mundi would have been picked since. Atanganji since. Agbotabi, if he was still alive, since. But you failed to do that. So after picking Mundi and the rest, you should pick Francophones, because Anglophones are not taken as human beings by President Biya. So you can keep 2,000 Anglophones in prison.
Doctor, if I may ask you, hold on there. What is the difference? If you are, I believe you would then agree with the argument we have some enablers out there who are actually within us, and Mundi happens to be one of them. So if we are agreed on this, what is the difference between an Ambazonian enabler and a Francophones? If we have Ambazonian enablers within us, didn't you hear that those within you are more dangerous? An enemy within you is more dangerous than the one far away from you.
Why is it that you cannot pick the enemy far away who has been killing you? How many people has Madam Mundi killed?
Because he's far away.
Go and okay, if the governor not in Bamenda, it's Lele Afik not in Bamenda. It's Okara Bilai not in Boya. So listen, you people have been deceived for too long now. Francophones of very high status, President Biya will reply and he will release Ayokta with them. If you cannot get them, you can carry 2 million enablers of Anglophone origin. President Biya will be very happy, because after killing them, the population will turn against you and the revolution will stop. That is the book I teach, Revolution and Society. I studied a child, 1978 to 1982. I'm telling you what is to stop a revolution, and maybe Biya is taking instructions, sir, and people like Professor Ngole, let the population be angry enough and the revolution is over.
Well, and how are we not sure after we pick Professor Ngole, you will come here and say we are picking the wrong people, we are picking Anglophones?
Pick the youth to and act with Ngole and act to Madam Mundi. If you cannot do that, shame on you.
Comrade Sama Thomas, please respond to Dr. Asibong there, please.
Yes, go ahead.
Dr. Asibong, I want to thank you for the position which you've taken. But let me ask Dr. Asibong something, because I know
yes,
there's no standard book written so far as a revolution is concerned.
Because you are doing the
no, excuse me, Doctor.
There are so many books. 2 million.
Doctor, let him finish. You will get your turn. Doctor, and doctor, in the meantime, please bend your camera so we can see your face. Correct. Good. That is good. Thank you.
Doctor, you are talking about so many books, because those so many books are written on peculiar cases. You cannot take the situation of South Sudan and you compare it to that of the Southern Cameroons. I grew up in the Southern Cameroons with my own situation, knowing fully well what I was in and had to behave according to the dictates of the situation that I grew up in. So you cannot take my revolution or my struggle and you compare it to that of the people of South Sudan or that of Somaliland. We are two different people and our society shapes us to be what we are. So there is no standard book written about a revolution. We are going to birth our own way so far as our struggle is concerned to gain our independence. Secondly, doctor, you are talking about we are going to antagonize our population. There is no struggle. There is no struggle of liberation in this world that the few who are fighting for the good of all haven't antagonized the population. If there is one that I can say, I can only quote that of Czechoslovakia, which separated without a gunshot. Other than that, there is none. Once guns are picked up by the people to fight an oppressive system or a colonized system, a few usually does that. Let me go back to India. and quote what Gandhi said.
Comrade Summer, please adjust your camera so people can see you.
Mahatma Gandhi said, and I quote, "Any good Indian must not use a gun given to him by the British or bullet, for those guns were made with pork meat, which is an unclean thing for an Indian or a Muslim to touch with his hands." End of quote. Was that true? It wasn't true. But Gandhi had to use that system to swear his people against the British. Did Gandhi succeed in swearing all Indians against the British? That is not true. Were those that were enabling the British to keep on with the occupation of England or of India treated the same? That wasn't true. Some of them also paid the ultimate price like Indians were paying. So, Doctor, your assertion is completely wrong. Thank you.
Dr. Soban.
Please, can I answer?
Yes, go on, please. 1 minute.
Yes. For your information, if you are in my field, there is a course we call comparative politics or comparative constitutions or comparative revolutions. When you do that, you will see a thread which is underlying all revolutions. To stop any revolution, to stop any secession or insurgency, the Cameroon government now, if you didn't know, they are checking money transfers in MoneyGram. You must cut the source of funding. You must use the weakest link, bribe the people as leaders to be against, like the Swiss talks. The Swiss talks was a place for them to go and give people money so that they can change their minds. And people went. I have never seen in the history of revolution or negotiation where somebody will be taught how to negotiate with an enemy. The enemy will teach you how to negotiate with him for you to win him. All of you knew that you were going to Switzerland to collect bribe, but you still went.
Dr. Asibel, you are avoiding the question and you are avoiding the issue. You are just jumping in and saying, running away from the subject.
No,
now, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. If it is good, no, hold on. Listen. If it is good for Ngole to be picked up, if it is good for Atanganji to be picked up, what is wrong in picking up Mundi?
Why not even start? Okay, you have picked Mundi. I am supporting them to pick all those people since they have started picking.
Exactly. We are all agreed now. We are all agreed. They have only just started, isn't it?
Go to the NGOs who are francophones. Immediately you do that, the population will know that you are serious. If you don't do it, some skeptics will know that you have been bribed to spoil this revolution for all of us.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you, Dr. Asibam. Let me ask you, when you say that we should not, we should be, the things you have listed here that ought to be done by Ambazonia, tell me, in your opinion, how should this war be prosecuted to your liking?
Not war. We are talking about Madam Mundi. Are you also dodging the question?
No, of course not. But you disagree with the way the war is being prosecuted because people you love have been picked up. Tell me in your opinion how you think the war will be better prosecuted. But it's not enough to come and sit on TV and just criticize, right?
First 6 months of your revolution, Chris Anu, all of you with Sako, you were only interested to raise money, MTTB and so on. Fine,
what did you expect us to do?
Let me finish.
No. What did you expect us to do?
You were supposed to collect that money and sponsor people to make sure that the enablers, all parliamentarians who are from Ambazonia in Yaoundé should come back home. You give them a deadline. If they don't come back home, you force them to come back home. And to force them, I don't need to tell you
how would you force them to come back home?
Declare them persona non grata. They cannot enter Ambazonia. They come and go back, and you protect them. You even collect money from them for protection. All those I can't get them. Look, if you are serious in a revolution, my young man, try to be serious. You are not, all of you are not serious. When you do that to your own people, after you have captured them and told them that they are not supposed to be in Yaoundé and they continue to be there, and you not do what you have not done to Madam Mundi, to all of them.
So apparently, let me reason with you here a little bit. You are okay.
Now to Francophone.
Hold on, let me agree with you here a little bit. So you are okay that Mundi is picked up. However, it is not enough. That's what you are saying, correct?
You are doing it at the wrong time, and you have not taken any Francophone. That's why every well-meaning Anglophone knows that you either been bribed to spoil this revolution, or you don't even know what you are doing.
Okay, hold on there. I will come back to you. Hold on there. I will come back to you. Comrade Samuel Thomas, he makes a good point about we not picking any Francophones. I think he is right. We give it to him.
Of course.
Now, the ADF has Mundi. Why has the ADF, I think you are the wrong person I'm asking from anyway, but why have no Francophone been picked up?
Been picked. Good boy.
Okay, thank you for that question, Secretary. Let me tell Dr. Asimbo something. About six months or so ago, my phone was hacked. That's why I have to change my telephone number. So our boys on the ground picked up the provincial delegate of PWD in Bamenda. In going through his phone, my number was there. They asked him, do you know the owner of this telephone number or the person? He said no. They said, okay, but how do you come about with his telephone number in your phone? He couldn't answer that question. When they called me to ask me of that thing, I said, I don't know the person, and I've informed you guys publicly that my number, my telephone has been hacked into, which I informed of this country. I have with me. And when I informed the police of this country, I said, my number one suspect, the Cameroon government, and it came out to be true that they were the ones who hacked into my phone. I cannot tell Dr. Simbo that guy was a Bamiliki, the provincial delegate for PWD in Bamenda. I don't know where he is. So where is Dr. Asimbo coming up with the assertion that we are not arresting or killing our public citizens? I'm of those in record that have said from the onstart that all our public citizens in the southern Cameroons must leave, even that which is born today, that which is still in the stomach, must leave the southern Cameroons. If you do not leave on your two legs, you'll be carried on top of a bus back to La Republic. Still in that position up till now. Dr. Asimbo should have his excuses elsewhere. I'm not telling Southern Cameroons that they are not doing well. We are limited in what we can do. We are like a land of people. Nigeria is on the left flank, La Republic is on the right flank, and we are blocked. We cannot bring in all the materials that we want to bring in at our own pleasure. So our actions must be limited so far as our materials are limited as well. To attack Lele Afrique is what is in our mind. But if we do not have the necessary materials meant for the attack of Lele Afrique, we cannot risk everybody's life because of Lele Afrique. But one day, by God's grace, He's going to enter into darkness.
Good. All right, before I get back to Dr. Florentine, let me, if I may ask Dr. Asibong. Dr. Asibong, which of these groups, Ambazonian groups, do you belong to, sir?
I don't belong to any of your groups because you are not doing the right thing. All of you are groups.
that is okay. I understand you.
Yes.
So how are you contributing to this struggle, sir?
I'm contributing
yes.
What I just told you now, that if you are to do something, you don't take a delegate a provincial delegate is not equal to a senator.
No, that
If
is not a
man Madam
question.
Mundi is a senator.
Where are you contributing to liberate the Southern Cameroons?
Contribution. I'm doing intellectual contribution like what I'm doing now. That
Your
if you want to
intellectual
win,
contribution just doesn't seem to match the action, the reality on the ground, sir. You are making just noise.
because you people have made the reality on the ground not to be reality, because all of you have been doing the wrong thing.
Where have you been supporting? We have thousands of refugees from your own county in Nigeria.
Yes.
How are you helping them,
Yes.
sir?
I have been okay. If I help them, I don't need to take permission from Christian. No,
No, I'm asking how. I didn't say permission. I said, how are you helping them, or you're only running your mouth?
Listen now, I am from the Ejaram tribe, and in the other side of Nigeria is Ejaram, and I have asked all the villages to house them and feed them on my behalf. And they are doing
on
that.
your behalf.
I tell you that.
You are not serious. All right, let me get to Dr. Florentine. Dr. Florentine, listen, I guess you agree that we have black legs out there, isn't it?
Chris, I know this term is being used all over the place, but we must be very careful. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Ambazonia. I am an educationist. I am a humanitarian and a businessman. I believe in educating our people. And majority of our people stand for the restoration of our sovereignty. That is very clear. I stand with them because that's the direction they want to go. We keep polling the views of our people. The day they want to change, I'll follow them.
So when you say our people, what percentage of those people follow the IPOA?
Comrade Chris Ano, you are an indigenous Ambazonian.
Correct.
Good. So wherever you go, you are representing the IPOA. I could send you in institutions to represent the IPOA. If you looked at your email, at your WhatsApp message the other day, or at least today, you would have seen a message from Pa George Akum, who is in West Africa, trying to get links to meet the Secretary General of the United Nations on behalf of the IPOA-GovC. We are one of the fastest growing grassroots movements in West Africa. And before we continue on that line, I want to say I'm very disappointed with Sama Thomas, who is advocating for the killing of a mother, a widow, someone who has contributed immensely in Ambazonia, someone who has trained tens of thousands of intellectuals in Ambazonia, Mama Regina Mundi. It is laughable. The people have received so many calls, so many phone calls from the international community, even from embassies in Yaoundé, saying, what is wrong with our people? I have, within the IPOA-GovC, we do not believe that capturing our people, especially elders, maltreating them, extorting money from them is the way forward. It is counterproductive. That is anti-revolutionary. What we have said in the IPO-GovC, and we have the Directorate of Security. Under the Directorate of Security, we have the Ambazonia Intelligence Agency. We have the Ambazonia Security Network, who have actually given me indications of where Mrs. Mundi is actually kept. But look, that's not me to call the shots. The DOS of the IPO-GovC can call the shots, but what's the point storming a location and killing our own people just to free her? I think the leadership of the IPO-GovC, comrades Asu Lucas, Ngong Emmanuel, aka Capo Daniel, would think twice, because this is a very bad move. We have prescribed one thing in the IPO-GovC. It's not me personally. The IPO-GovC is a democratic institution, and we have come up with Frogs Must Go, which is a diluted version of equation balancing, which means if La Republique arrests 40 of our bike riders, we should be able to get 120 La Republique citizens, lock them up as well.
Comrade, let me ask you.
This is it. And you've heard even an A-GovC like Partia, Babamfo, they have subscribed to that ideal. They are even in one of our strategic forums, and they are pushing that. Let the A-GovC ADF arrest La République du Cameroon citizens who are in Boya, Bamenda, doing business.
Comrade, do you agree with Dr. Asibong that you have enablers both in La République du Cameroun or La République du Cameroun citizens and in Ambazonia?
Chris Ano, I don't want to be using this term enabler. It's a very bad
Let
word.
me ask you a different question. You are here trying to elevate Dr. Regina Mundi. If I may ask you, Regina Mundi has been out there for, since I went to secondary school, I started hearing Regina Mundi, and you are here quoting her educational achievements. But I asked a question in my monologue, where was she, or where has she been for 5 years and counting, that Southern Cameroon children have been killed and the mothers have taken to the streets? Where has she been in Yaoundé, marching to that synod and saying this treatment of Ambazonians must stop? Where has she been when Ambazonians were massacred in Bali, in Pinyin, in Garebo? Not even a statement, sir. Not even a statement. Why are you so mad and angry that an enabler is picked up? You think that those diplomats in Yaoundé will give us independence?
Comrade Chris, and we had independence in 1961. Our situation.
We had it, but
complex.
we are still fighting to really restore it. That's why we're in this war.
HCB 2892 is a court case.
Forget about the court case. So if you can just direct your answer to the question, where has Regina Mundi been with the massacre of our people in Bali, in Garebo, in Pinyin? Everywhere. What has she been doing in Yaoundé? At least I saw women in the parliament standing up for Ambazonia. I saw at least this guy in Boya, what do you call him, Mbelamoki, at least trying to say something. We saw this guy killed in Bamanda the other day, trying to do something. Where has Regina Mundi been?
Comrade Chris Ano, this is not the right way to do things. And if we at this level who are educated are pushing this kind of narrative, then the boys on the ground will really be lost. And tomorrow, if the international community, the International Criminal Court comes for them for their crime.
Oh, come on.
You will not
people
be
keep mentioning
let me land on the issue.
You are fighting
let me land on the issue.
Comrade, I don't think you are fighting anybody quoting international community,
let me land.
criminal court and so on. The person hasn't. You haven't started fighting yet, because if you are fighting and looking at the criminal court and the international community, you know what? I prefer to be locked up than be out here and be in chains.
Comrade Chris Ano, if I was in the ground, I would have taken up my gun and fought the La République du Cameroun.
Not the way you are speaking here, though.
No, let me tell you something, Comrade Chris Ano. You painted Mrs. Regina Mundi in a very, very bad way. Everybody has his own style. You have children. Some children eat with their right hand. Some eat with their left hand. Mrs. Mama Regina Mundi, a mother, you are trying to say that she's stone-hearted. She feels the pain. For those who know her, she feels the pain of the killing of our people.
And what does she do with the pain she feels? She has not been to the street. I don't see her marching on the street and demanding answers.
That is what you want her to do.
Okay, what has she done? What has she done?
Comrade Chris Ano, you don't have a video of her saying or showing her or asking that our people should be killed. She has not done that. Good. So why do you? Okay, let me give you an example. I have intelligence reports going to about 225 pages of most of you who went to Switzerland received big package of money. Your flights are paid left and right by the Swiss HD.
Comrade, you are diverting. We are talking serious. We are talking serious issues here. Of course, you know that. No, listen, please.
No. Let me land on the point.
Just have some little dignity here, please.
Comrade.
We are talking serious issues here. And you know, I have never been to Switzerland. If you were in Switzerland, I know you were in Switzerland.
I have gone to the Roi. and I've said, let us come together under the CDN umbrella. You guys have refused.
What is the CDN? Coalition for Surrender.
Coalition for Dialogue and Negotiation. Let us do what the international community expects us to do, and La Republique will not have the excuse of killing our people.
Who is sponsoring CDN?
The CDNites are sponsoring CDN. We have doctors, top engineers. They are contributing their hard cut and catch, Comrade Chris Anu.
What does the CDN stand for? Independence or federation?
Comrade Chris Anu, it is in testing the pudding that you know how.
No, answer the question. We don't need proverbs. What does the CDN stand for? Do they stand for independent Ambazonia, or they stand for something different from independence?
This is a platform to bring us together. And majority of us are for the sovereignty, what you call independence of Ambazonia.
How about the CDN?
If that is what the
CDN? What do they stand for?
Comrade Chris Ano, what does the SG stand for? We know
they stand for mediation and negotiations. What does the CDN stand for? Do they stand for a free? You are not answering the question. Why do you want to call people in the CDN an organization that has said that they are neutral? Why do you want us to get to them when they say they are neutral? They are killing your people. They are burning down your homes. An organization comes, you say it is an indigenous organization, but they say they are neutral. Comrade Samuel Thomas, let me bring you into this conversation.
No. Let me land on this. We were in Stuttgart recently, last month. Comrade Chua Yaba, myself, Uncle P from Germany, who was representing IPOA-GovC as well, Dr. Larry Ayamba, Dabni Yerima, Dr. Victor Akwinga, SCNC representatives, Secretary General of the SCNC. We sang the Ambazonia National Anthem. Nobody was talking about federation there. Nobody was talking about one Cameroon there. But we have the HD Swiss giving you people money. Yes. And you guys have refused to come and work with the level-headed Ambazonians who can fix things for us and stop the Republic pushing that narrative, pushing that narrative of we are not united.
All right, let Comrade Sama come in there and make a point.
Dr. Florentine, you accused of going to Switzerland to go and be dished out like dished out churches. That monies were dished out to us as well. And in the so-called CDA or whatever, the Swiss government or SG is there as well. How much did the SG dish out to you guys when you went to Canada and also to Berlin or wherever last month? Look, we should keep this senseless, meaningless accusation of one another to be bribed. Like myself sitting here, I heard your Capo Daniel of the world said I work with Larapur Cameroon or Berlin Cameroon when I was in Southern Cameroon. I've never been employed by anybody in the Southern Cameroons. And these are the type of stories which you carry along, pretending. Let me put this word clearly to you: pretending to be fighting for Southern Cameroons, and at the same time doing La Republic's bidding by accusing others of Southern Cameroons who haven't been bribed by La Republic Cameroon, of which you cannot prove. I made a statement over a year ago that anybody in the Southern Cameroon struggle that says another Southern Cameroon has been bribed. For bribe and corruption is a top secret between two persons. And you, the third party, who say that Southern Cameroon has been bribed, you are the person who negotiated for that bribe, and you have your share. So how much was your share, Dr. Florentine, given by the Swiss SG or the Swiss government before you now turn my own share to me? My own share came through you. You cannot claim to know of that without knowing how much it was and without being the one who transferred the money to me. We should be sincere when we are talking about this struggle and other Southern Cameroonians. We must not be blackmailers. Let me go back to this issue of Madame Regina Mundi. You said you think that he educated many. Madame Regina Mundi, I am across Bangkok. She had not extended a hand of anybody in Bangkok. Was her channeled toward a particular set of persons and that she heard. But she heard them. Does it mean she not to train Southern Cameroonian people? You said she is a Southern Cameroonian. When Foncha was angry enough with the system, Foncha resigned. But the fact that Regina wasn't even in primary school, Regina with the system of La Republic Cameroon, and today this same Regina Mundi is there, and Foncha, who was there with her, long resigned in the 80s, and Mundi is still hanging there. And you guys think she's of any good to the Southern Cameroonian people, then you and the Gasimbo, you have a problem. If you think that you has something to offer on this, then you guys have a problem. Go and think about it again. Like I've said, Regina is one of those persons that has kept us into servitude till this day of today. If I want to cross a bridge, this are information I'm passing to you and to Gasimbo. If I want to cross a bridge, our little bridge that only one person crosses before the other, and you are obstructing me from the other side, I don't know how to feel. The only thing that is in my mind is to kill you. For if I don't kill you, you will kill me. The likes of Regina Mundi are those that are on the way of our freedom. And if we don't kill them, they will kill us.
Comrade Sama, I don't subscribe to that. That's terrible.
Comrade Sama, let's get back to the issue of this abduction. The ADF has said that they are demanding for the release of Dr. Mfongalanfo before they will release Madam or Senator Regina Mundi. Do you really take them seriously? Do you think they are serious?
Well, I cannot for now take them serious until I'm proven wrong by them.
Dr. Florentine, what do you think about that demand?
Before I land on that, I want to clarify the public that I have never been in any meeting in Canada or in Switzerland organized by an HG, non-governmental organization, which surprisingly Ambazonia leaders believe can come and make peace between two nations.
How about a meeting?
Yes,
in
and I've
Canada
never received any dime from them. Beg your pardon?
How about the one in Canada?
The one in Canada, that was CDN. As I keep saying, CDN is sponsored by Indigenous Ambazonians. You might not believe that, but join it. And I'm still waiting for Marianta to call me back. She is escaping. Tell her we are only in the United Kingdom. Let her get to me and let's work things out.
What do you want to hear from her? What do you want to hear or get from her?
She needs to get to me. I've written her several times. She's promised to call me back. Let us come together because our people are asking us to be united. We cannot expect the boys on the ground to be united when leaders, even in the same United Kingdom, are not coming together. Let's come to. I congratulated her. You remember?
You seem not to understand the obstacles in some of these so-called unity thing. You have mentioned the CDN, and I just told you the CDN has said they are a neutral group. In other words, they are not for independence. Now, you also sit there and you are mentioning people like Frundi that we're supposed to be talking to. And how do you expect us, reasonable people who are out to see a free and independent Ambazonia, going to sit down to negotiate with people who do not believe in Ambazonia? What do you want from them? What do you want from Mariette?
Comrade Chris Ano, I'm really worried because you are really giving wrong education to our people. Neutral means not being for positive or for negative. They are not for this or that. They are there to
Where are they? You have
us.
your legs on both sides?
No. They are not having their legs on both sides. I've told you that to know how good the pudding is. Come into the CDN.
Comrade, this is the point. The point is that nobody takes you seriously if you cannot, in the given situation, say, here is where my stance is. And that is what the CDN is. That is why this interim government has found it very difficult to associate with the CDN. Because they cannot be killing our mothers, our brothers, our children, burning down our homes, and a group that's supposed to, an indigenous group like your own, comes to the table and say they are neutral. Are they our mediators or negotiators, or what are they? Well, how can they claim neutrality? Does that even make sense?
Comrade Chris Ano, come in and be an observer for a while. But I'm promising
I have been invited by the CDN into 2 meetings to see if we can at least sit down and have a meeting with them. And in both meetings, I have not seen any reason to be able to convince anybody at the interim government to say, let's go sit down. I have invited the CDN to ABS and even ABC then, not once, not twice, their leaders, they've not shown up. None. So why do you think we should just walk and surrender to them?
Comrade Chris Ano, look, there are things I cannot divulge here in the public media. But look, we have the critical mass moving forward, and in the coming months,
who, sir?
Those of us who are CDNites, those organizations within the CDN, and coming back to what Comrade Sama was saying.
If you say you have the groups, not the critical groups, but the groups, I agree with you. But that's where it ends.
we have the critical mass, and things are moving. You now hear of Unity Warriors, Donga, Unity Warriors.
Oh, you are all behind. You're all behind them.
We the members of the CDN, the groups that come together in the CDN, take decisions for themselves. The CDN doesn't take decisions for us.
How about humanitarian? What is the CDN doing?
Doctor, that's a lie. Doctor, that's a lie. Please, don't use a public media to turn out lies. Please.
Comrade Sama, you need to revert to your leader, IPOA-GovC, Dr. Choayaba. And he is also, the IPOA-GovC is a member of the CDN. And that's why they preferred joining us. They preferred joining the CDN as opposed to the HD Swiss team.
So on what grounds is the ADF or IPOA-GovC preferring to join with IPOA and CDN?
Comrade Chris, we can run over these over and over, but I think the main thing we're here today is about Mrs. Regina Mundi. Your brother paraded Professor Leke Tambo in the early days of this struggle, naked, humiliated him. You know what that cost in Lebialem?
No.
Lebialem is dry of funding because the children that Professor Leke Tambo over the years has sponsored, churned out, given scholarships, indigenous Ambazonians reacted negatively. This act by the IPOA-GovC ADF is going to backfire. It's backfired, and it will backfire heavily if they do not release her as soon as possible. And let me just say, let me just land on one thing.
This is my show. I control it. Now listen.
Of course.
LBLM remains the one and only county in this Ambazonia that Nothing. Zero. Nothing is going on there. Their DO cannot settle there. Their mayors, none of them is there. Nothing is going on there. They've pulled out all of their teachers, everything. Come on, go and read it. Are you not reading? I mean, Liberian, you will say, is the only county in Ambazonia that is essentially under the column of Ambazonia. I don't understand when you come and sit here and you make this kind of statement and you want anybody to take you seriously. I mean, where are you reading this? But let's hold on. Let's go back to Cho Ayaba, Comrade Samuel. Let me come back to you. I am very particular about what the ADF would want to do with Regina Mundi. Should we kill? I will not say. I will not make any choice there. But you pick an important person for the regime of the Republic, and you say they should give you only one person they have in detention. Why not all the Naira 10? Why not all those in Douala, in Bamenda, in Boya, in Bafoussam, in Yaoundé? Why not say give all of them? And by the way, I have also learned the ADF may just be playing and buying time and trying to make money as usual. In fact, I learned yesterday the ADF is asking for 80 million CFA francs. 80 million for this lady to be released. I have said in my talking point that the ADF has such a golden opportunity for the first time to prove to Ambazonians they are fighting for Ambazonia. I just wish they would do this and pin their legs on the ground and say, we want this woman remains here until the Naira 10 are released. All those 40 bike riders in Oku are released. The prisoners in Bafoussam, in Boya, in Douala, they are released. Why should they not do this? If I'm wrong, tell me, Comrade Sama.
Thank you, Secretary, for that question. But let me go to Comrade Florentine first to refute something which you said. I've been a party to the ADF, so I've never militated with the ADF. That's a point of correction, and I will never militate with the ADF. The first reason being that I think the ADF, no matter how mature some persons might be in the ADF, I look at them all to be children who do not understand exactly what they are doing. Let me go back to Madame Regina Mundi's situation. Had it been I was part of the ADF and to put my demands forward, many will not buy the freedom of Madame Regina Mundi. What could or will buy the freedom of Madame Mundi is to demand for all Southern Cameroonians that are in La Republic dungeons, and within a given period of time, that if within 48 hours all Southern Cameroonians are arrested, not arrested, adopted, kidnapped, and taken to La Republic Cameroon and elsewhere in Tolere, in the north of La Republic Cameroon, in Boya, if they are not released within 24 or 48 hours, I will serve them the head of Regina Mundi. That will be my demand. There is no that will be able to release Madame Mundi. That's
position. Ridiculous. Comrade Sama, I think it's so easy for you to call the demand people, call for the killing of people. It's these are human beings. You live in Europe where they value human life. Mrs. Mundi has, Mama Regina Mundi has children, grandchildren. As in fact, many of his former students are top intellectuals. Do you think they're going to fold their arms and leave you move freely in the streets tomorrow?
Okay.
Some of these statements you make, you must be. Comrade Sama, you are not iron. You are a human being. She has trained thousands of children and intellectuals for that matter. I mean, well placed than you in society. So please, don't push things which are counterproductive. Let me tell you for a fact.
So you are
La Republic of Cameroon.
Are you one of those Are you supporting her because she train you?
Comrade Samara, let me say something to you.
Are you supporting her because she train you?
No, she didn't teach me. She doesn't have to have taught me for me to realize that it doesn't make sense to kill our own people or kidnap our own people and start asking 80 million. I'm just hearing this from Comrade Chris. I'm in rage. It is no longer an arrest, Comrade Sama. Let me
kill 40,000 Cameroonians.
Comrade Chris Anu and Comrade Sama, let me tell you one thing. Paul Biya.
It makes sense.
No. Let me tell you something. Comrade Sama, let me say something to you. You have a problem with your neighbor, wherever you are living. Your neighbor kidnaps your girlfriend or your wife or maybe some of your family members. Then you don't kidnap your neighbor's cousins. You come to your house, you look for your grandmother, you put a gun on her head because your grandmother is in good terms with your neighbor. So you're going to kill your grandmother until they release all your people.
If in the course of going to kidnap my neighbor's child or my neighbor, my grandmother is on my way, I will kidnap her. I will arrest her.
Mrs. Regina Mundi has not been in anybody's way.
Comrade Florentine, I have asked you this question. Where has Mrs. Regina Mundi been with the massacres in Bali, in Pinyin, in Ngaribu, in Bamenda, the school children, the Kumba massacres, the killing of the children in Boya? We've not seen her anywhere.
No, Comrade Chris, I know I've told you that angle is not the right angle. When you go to a cry-die, a funeral, not everybody weeps and roll on the floor. Some people sit down and reflect and feel sad, and they go in a quiet corner. They might not eat for days. That's more. I will even respect such people more than people who wail, roll on the floor, and then drink 10 crates of 3-3 Expo. And then you come and say those are the people who really mourn for that person, for the dead. No, let's be serious.
Florentine, let me ask you this. My brother is poisoned by somebody. I know the person who poisoned my brother. I'm mourning my family member. And so a friend of mine who claims to be my friend is dining with the person who poisoned my brother. Do you mean to tell me that I should trust that person who is dining with that fellow who killed my brother?
Comrade Sama, this is not the same situation, but that person might be dining with them to come and give you more information in the future of how that poisoning took place and where that person they might even bring you a lot of evidence which you use in court.
What information has Madame Mundi gave to us for the past 10 years or 5 years today? What information has come from her?
Comrade Sama, knowing La République du Cameroon, if you like, you catch 10,000 Ambazonians and lock up. They will not release any of our people. That is not the way. Catch their people. Get Governor Nene afraid. You are from Mancon. There are so many La République du Cameroon citizens in Mancon going around and even making children with our daughters. What are you talking? Let the IPOA-GovC go there and pick them up.
Well, I think they are starting somewhere. They've started somewhere.
They're starting on the wrong foot. It's going to backfire. It's backfired already. Your brother tried it with Professor Neke Tambo. It backfired. Now we have more big camps in Lebialem.
You are making this up. But listen, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I'm not making this up.
No, hold on.
The Ambazonia Security Council is in Lebialem.
What is Ambazonia Security Council?
We have the information.
What is Ambazonia Security Council? Nothing exists like that.
No, it doesn't exist. What exists is Ambazonia Security Network, not council.
What is it about? Okay, listen, ladies and listen, sir. We're going to take a brief break out, and when we come back, I will open the phone lines for those of you out there following the conversation to chip in. So please stay tuned and do not touch the remote.
Honorable Joseph Werba gathers Ambazonians. The time for his long-awaited great vision for the liberation of Ambazonia has come. The vision that inspired him to stand up for southern Cameroons in Cameroon's parliament to condemn Ambazonia's subjugation. The vision that got the oppressors hunting for his head. Wirba's vision for the freedom of Ambazonia is even stronger and clearer today than before. Let's come together, stand by him and with him. Join him in Stuttgart, Germany for the great come together on freeing Ambazonia. Wirba now has a direct route to Ambazonia's liberation. All routes lead to Stuttgart, Germany on Saturday, May 14th. Be there. Honorable Joseph Wirba gathers Ambazonians. The time for his long-awaited great vision for the liberation of Ambazonia has come. The vision that inspired him to stand up for southern Cameroons in Cameroon's parliament to condemn Ambazonia's subjugation. The vision that got the oppressors hunting for his head. Wirba's vision for the freedom of Ambazonia is even stronger and clearer today than before. Let's come together, stand by him and with him. Join him in Stuttgart, Germany for the great come together on freeing Ambazonia. Wirba now has a direct route to Ambazonia's liberation. All routes lead to Stuttgart, Germany on Saturday, May 14th. Be there.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying put in there. At this moment, I will open the phone lines and get to hear from those of you who have been following the conversation, the heated conversation here. The phone lines are now open, and I will ask my guests to remain seated because I know some of the questions will be posed to you. So please, if you have been watching and listening, please go ahead and make your phone call. Make your phone call. The number is right there. Oh, I see there's a first caller here. Wow. All right, let me see. Hello. 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 Well, when you make your call, make sure you stay by the phone, please. When you make your call, make sure you stay by the phone and pick the calls when I pick them. Let's see who is next here. This is ground zero. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Bamenda, sir. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome, sir. And what is your contribution, sir?
Yes, I could not wait for you to have me, Secretary Chris, because of what is happening on your platform there. First of all, thank you very much for that very impressive assessment that you put up from the beginning of the show, and the challenge that you have thrown to the ADF. Yes, specifically the challenge to prove to Ambazonia that they are for Ambazonia.
Correct.
Secretary, you realize that you have a big enabler on your platform, a very big enabler in the name of that doctor. What do you call him? What for indigenous people of what? That's an enabler. If you don't know, a big one, a bit, and he also deserves to be captured like Regina Mundi. I'm talking about the guy you call doctor. What effort is that guy to come on the platform, Ambazonian platform, and stop that nonsense?
He deserves to be captured. He's hiding in England.
He should be captured. If you can't say you will be beat, what are you shaking your head for? What are you shaking your head for? You are a humiliation. You are not for Ambazonia. You are not for Ambazonia. You are a humiliation. If you said you are full here, you will pick up in no time. Let me tell you, Madam Mundi has done what? What has she has trained what? You talk like a drunkard. If you are not, you talk like a drunkard. If you are not an enabler, then you are a drunkard. You are coming out of a bar, of a pub.
All right. I think you got the message. All right, you got his message.
I think I would.
So let's leave it
I
there.
would forgive and forget what he has said.
I'm not done.
Okay, briefly. Others have to call.
Yeah. Yes. Madame Mundi is an old witch that must be treated accordingly. Mr. Sama has the right perspective of what to do with her. She's an old witch that has. She's old, but not old enough to continue to do the terrible things she has done again about Amazonia. Look, people should be very careful. Nonsense. We are here in Ground Zero suffering because of criminals like this, and some drunkard will come to the studio and say nonsense.
All right.
Guys here, nonsense.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the call. Let's get to hear from others, please. Thank you. All right. So let's see who is next here. Still Ground Zero calling. Please, I can only take calls from one line. I cannot take calls from two lines, so don't call the other line. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just wish to congratulate Comrade Sama.
Okay, yes, we're hearing you. Go on, sir. Where are you calling from?
From Bahrain.
Bahrain. Okay, all right. Go on, sir.
So what I want to say is the other man talking of Madame Mundi concerning that he has taught many people thought this. What has he done concerning the struggle? People are dying. He's there talking of Madame Mundi. They will sit and say, or what they will just sit and be looking on what they will do. I do congratulate Comrade Sama for what he has said.
All
what
right.
he said is okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the call. All right, let's see who is next calling. Hello.
Search Chris, I would like to ask those guests a question.
This must be the one and only Mike Fusi.
You got it right.
Okay, you have a question for the guest. Go on, sir.
Yes, I could not resist calling in to ask your guest. You have a very interesting guest today. And my question to them is this. Given the fact that they have refused to say exactly where they are committed or how they are committed in this struggle, what sacrifices they are making, and yet they criticize everyone else who is actually engaged, sacrificing both treasure and blood in the persecution of this struggle. And they sit back comfortably, and some going around negotiating on behalf of those who are actually fighting. If without these very people whom they are criticizing, will there be any struggle for them to talk about today? If we not for the interim government, if not for those who are on the ground doing the things they are doing, which they are criticizing, if not for the sacrifices that these people are making, will there be a struggle to talk about here?
That's a very good. Thank you. That's a very good and legitimate question. I guess that question was posed to Dr. Florentine. Can you take a moment to address that, please? Just 1 minute.
Yes, I think there's a bit of weight on what he has said. They wouldn't have been here today if those on the ground were not sacrificing. I have personally treated a lot of wounded Ambazonians. Comrade Chris, you recently called General Nambere to interview him, and he referred you to me because I sponsored and took out General Nambere out of Cameroon to an unknown destination, which I will not give here now, because his life was threatened and he came to me. Those who call and insult and write things don't know what some of us have gone through because we don't talk about it. Ask Comrade Dr. Ebenezer Kwanga. We have been to the territory when people were saying we're living in hotels. We even had to dig holes and poo in it. Look, some of these boys don't know how wounded some of us are. We are in the cold here suffering our people, we are not sleeping. Some of us, the IPOA-GovC executives tax themselves. Every month, we spend at least $50,000 US from our own pockets. So we understand what they're going through. And if we come and say, look, we disagree with our brother comrades Capo Daniel, aka Ngong Emmanuel, aka Capo Daniel, and the others, that this approach is wrong, it is a matter of policy. And within the CDN, perhaps in the coming meetings, we'll talk. You know, I'm not a military man. I'm a humanitarian. But look, even last week, I asked my communication team to also circulate videos of boys of boys needing help from the prisons. I will not say the prisons. We have every week at least 168 Ambazonians asking for help. A few months ago, we sent monies to late General Yeke's wife. I personally sent that money. I don't discriminate. Every indigenous Ambazonian matters to me. You are laughing. Right, you know, you came to me and I've told you why General Nambere. You know why General Nambere cannot talk.
We made a lot of talking already. Let's give the audience opportunity to ask questions, please. Hold on. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Ground Zero, Baminangwe.
Okay, and what is your contribution, sir?
Yes, I wanted to ask that man a question. Yes, I'm calling from Ground Zero.
Yes, you want to ask which of them a question?
I wish to ask that man who is making that loud, that noise. I wanted to ask that man that is making a noise.
Okay, go on.
Then he said, Regina Mundi. Regina Mundi, hello.
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go on.
Yeah, he's talking about Regina Mundi. Regina Mundi was a teacher. He taught so many students. I want to ask, Regina Mundi is living at Bayele. That little girl that was shot. At Bayele. What did Regina Mundi say? So, Regina Mundi, I think that is a traitor. That's a woman that's supposed to be even kept for more than until we reach Buya before releasing her.
Okay. Thank you. That's
so that man who is making a loud there should just leave that platform and go away.
All right. Thank you for the call, sir. All right. Let's see who else is on the line. Hello.
Is this yes?
Yes, sir. I guess this is Chairman Ephraim.
Yes, please. Are you still on that discussion?
Yes, sir. We are taking your calls now, so go on.
Okay. So sorry, I tried earlier on several times to call, and I wasn't sure that we were still having the discussion. But you have somebody there participating in this discussion as a panelist, and he's Dr. Somebody. I know, of course, Comrade Sama Thomas. But the other person, Dr. Somebody, needs to be run out of that station, out of that studio. I speak a lot of nonsense. So I will ask him. So is it by what he's saying? Is it by what he's saying? Meaning, Mami Api did not bring up many people. She didn't have grandchildren, great grandchildren. So we can just not bother about her death, or not compare it to the situation of Regina Mundi, or that the baby Martha and the rest of those children that were slaughtered, since they didn't bring up grandchildren and great grandchildren, we cannot compare
their situation, what they went through, to what Regina Mundi, maybe Laraburi has a lot of money to give out, to dole out. Let them pay the money. And indeed, to say she will only be released if one person from Naira 10 is released is, I mean, that's selling it cheap. To me, like you said, all the Naira 10, and not just that, our people in Bamenda, our people in Douala, in Yaoundé, everybody should be released. That's what I will stand for. But returning to that guy, that gentleman who is in there, I can't just stand him. It's just nonsense.
All right. Okay, he hears you. Thank you for the
I think I'll have to respond to him. Comrade Chris, I think let me respond to the gentleman. I understand.
Yes, go on briefly. Go on briefly, please.
Yeah. The teachings of the Bible says we forgive and forget, so he's been forgiven. I will not divulge all what I've done for the revolution, what I continue to do for the people, because it is we will not prosecute this revolution on TV. There was a time I told some leaders in this struggle that you have to work together with your people. One or two of them told me how the best way to be united is to take a gun and shoot all the other leaders, and then that will bring unity. You were in the hall in London in 2019 when I made a speech as well, and I said unity is one, O-N-E.
Comrade, we will talk about that on a different occasion. We've spoken a lot. Yeah. Let's give the caller an opportunity to share their views. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I just made a mistake and dropped a caller. Sorry about that. Okay.
So at that time, the unity idea was far-fetched, but we are there today. The same like this situation.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Abakwa.
You're calling from Abakwa. Oh, I'm sorry, go on.
The center of the revolution, Abakwa.
Okay, thank you, sir. Hope you are safe. What is your contribution?
Simple, just what others have been echoing. I'm sure I'm very surprised that we come to the platform today and we are discussing about the fate of criminals that should be exterminated without any remorse. And by the way, you brought drunkards to your platform today. Some drunkards, drunkards who cannot know in the very bad books of Ambazonia for what they have been trying to argue out.
Okay.
Somebody, an enabler, a criminal, an enabler, like the witch, Regina Mundi, and somebody comes and is defending her. It's astonishing. What about more than 40,000 Ambazonians that have been killed?
Right.
What about them? Plus children, plus our grandchildren. What about the 40 guys that have been picked up? What did she say about those 40 guys that have been picked up? What did she say?
All right.
You are not serious, gentlemen. You are not serious. And you do not represent Ambazonia. Let me tell you from today. You with your Ambazonia indigenous word, you do not represent Ambazonia. You are fruits. Your attitude has shown it. Thank you very much, Secretary Chris.
Thank you for the call, sir. You remain safe out there. All right, let's get to the next caller here. T Ground Zero. Okay, hello. Hello. Please turn down the volume of your television set and focus on the phone.
Okay.
Where are you calling from, sir?
This one, Baba Batoke.
Baba Batoke. Calling from Batoke?
No. This time, I don't come down at the Rafa with the.
Okay, all right. And what is your contribution?
Yeah, please, the two I want to say, first thing, we don't see Dr. Shaku, he don't remain say, he go get some fighter, they don't talk for dang say, they be doctor. No worry. I don't talk plenty time here, say, no worry. Any man where he get fighter for down where they go fight for Ambazonia, may they fight, we no get problem with that. Yeah. The only problem is say when one man no fit sponsor the war, why urge for the people? They go ever remain because anytime
where they raise money, it go come out plenty for give people. What all these individuals they talk say they get group leave them. Any man we say no dey for Iya Marata, no dey for this one for the real leave them. After 5 months, one money no they come again.
Yes.
That the fact that they shall complain for down. All man go ever scam for that platform with 7 million people did it. Now we would put president, now we would move up. And we must get that democracy. We need the first no man. And the fact you want to go for somewhere to go. When money finish, all man go come back for the replay so they go see our time we go raise money the 8 million time. Even if Maretta will come again tomorrow, you know do 2 1 time, we move up. If you like go from your own group, they go come come back until all man go learn lesson stand for that very platform. We not worry, we not get anything. Me animal fight for Ambazonia. You say ADF, you talk very good talk for ADF. We just say the work of a Batibo Moto. Military never ever attack even you come. But they attack other people. Me them kill one soldier. Always support them.
Yeah.
ADF kill one soldier. One kill him, one to move Sam. Now we do for ground. Those people know they fight for we. All that to make sure that technical people. I don't go, Chris. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You have a great day and a great night, and thanks for the contribution. All right, and we hear you. Okay, let's get back to... Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Sorry, I made a mistake and dropped your call. You're calling from Germany, correct?
Yes, I'm calling from Germany.
Okay, what is the contribution, sir?
Sir, I want to thank you for bringing diverse voices on your panel. It's wonderful, although some of the voices are really stupid, and it makes me think of Ambassador Cohen, who said Ambazonians are not angry enough. But I'm happy that these days of recent, Ambazonians are becoming very angry. From the statement, made by the other man, not the doctor,
Sama Thomas.
Sama Thomas, that a woman should be killed. Those are signals that Ambazonia are getting annoyed enough. And then when I listen to the statement of the Secretary of Defense, Madame Assong, when I listen to her statement, it shows that Ambazonians are getting angry enough. And one of the commanders I like, Ken Kobo, when he arrests people like that, all this debate is not called for. They think it's done.
Exactly. Well, you know, this debate became necessary because for the first time, the ADF has done something called a re-enabler. The debate became necessary because we asked the question, what are they going to do? Are they just going to act money and leave that enabler to go as usual? Or they actually mean business when they say prisoners should be exchanged for? So if prisoners should be exchanged for them, all of the Naira 10 plus those 40 bikers and so on should be released, not one individual.
Exactly, not one individual, not one individual. So I appreciate the way Commander General Ken Kobo is doing it. He's doing it the right way, and I think that is the way we should go on. But the fighters, they should ensure that when that is taking place, it should be a real enabler. It should not be a mistake. They should be very, very sure for what they're doing, so that when we take one off, we don't regret what we have done. As for your invitees there on the panel, he behaves like a Larry, like a two-side collapse. He behaves like a spy. So I don't trust him at all. That's my take.
All right, thank you for the call.
Ambassador should be very, very careful with him. Very, very careful with him. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. Let's get back to a lot of calls are flowing in here, ladies and gentlemen. I will try to take as many as possible. Let me see, who is this? Hello.
Yeah, hey, Secretary Chris, greetings. How far?
This is the one and only Dr. Ngwambe, correct?
Yes, indeed it is. Yes, indeed it is, my fellow patriot.
All right, go on, sir. What is in your mind?
Yes, the person who I really want to look for them now, my brother Sama Thomas. Greetings for you, because you and Secretary Chris, when I handle the to guide him, when I handle them, fine, because the thing they come talk for you know, it passed my power. It really passed my power. But the main thing I want to talk and say, the move by ADF, you know, now very, very good first step. You know, so they've even asked for, like, as you don't talk, 70 of the prisoners may they be released, plus part from Galafo.
Yeah.
So we really pray for CC, ADF go continue to move in the correct direction, because all we know that past history and we doubt them very badly. All man know that one. The message what I want to give for Ambazonia is I say, these are panelists. I don't know if they understand, say, La Republic, they do not scorched earth policy for attempt to win this war. These panelists, whether they talk this, they talk so, do they really think that the international community go hold La Republic accountable if for some God unforeseen reason we lose this war to La Republic? If La Republic happen to win this war, La Republic go make better parades. They could give awards for their soldiers and enablers. And some of these CPDM people that are like this, madam, they go to do everything to get photo up for they corner that La Republic soldier them when La Republic is doing those awards, those parades, and all kinds of medal ceremonies for the people who have burnt down our villages and killed our people. So what are these guys here telling us that we should be sympathetic to these enablers and all this kind of? It doesn't make any damn sense. My fellow Ambazonians, French Cameroonian, they know they cry for we. They know they go protest when their government they do all the mischief where they kill Caroline Diale, baby Brenda Tato. They know they do any of that one for me. As a matter of fact, French Cameroonian, you know, they want me their government, they teach we British Southern Cameroonians a lesson. So I want me all we get this thing for our head and we stand up and fight this thing like one man and destroy the French Cameroonian people. There's no sympathy for them and any enablers then whether they amongst we whether they support French Cameroon. That's my opinion, not. And maybe we'll get that fine for our heart. Thank you, Secretary Chris.
All right. Thank you, Doc. You have a great night. Okay, let's get back to the callers here again. Hello.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, where are you calling from, sir?
Yeah, I'm calling from Maryland, Chris, and my name is Ernest.
Okay, and what is the contribution?
Yeah, my contribution goes first to the Dr. Clementine, if I'm calling the name rightly.
Yes.
He said that he said their group, if I don't know what he called again, something, is to make sure that at once La Republique should give us referendum. That statement, I have a problem there. That La Republique, who is La Republique and who is us? That La Republique will decide what to give us.
Hold on there. Hold on there, comrade. Hold on there. Let me ask Dr. Florentine. Dr. Florentine, did you say La Republique should consider giving us a referendum?
I think our people have a problem in hearing, or they hear, they don't understand. We are for the full restoration of our sovereignty. And I said, we cannot be in a situation where we say, oh, La Republique is not democratic enough, they don't want to even give us a referendum. And at the same time, we are saying that
that's the point I'm coming to. Why do you think La Republique should be in the position to give us a referendum?
No. I was just doing a comparison to say, at a certain point in our struggle, we were saying that. And at the same time, we are turning around and saying, every Ambazonian we will not even tolerate even a federalist. Everybody must be for the restoration of Ambazonia. Look, I had federalists, I still have federalists in the IPOA-GovC, but the numbers have dwindled because we have educated them. It is not insulting, it is not shouting. And I'm not faced up by the threats some of these young boys and other callers have been making. I am for Ambazonia. If you doubt me, call Dr. Cho Ayaba, call Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga, what I have done for Ambazonia.
But do you realize, going by this cause, that you are on the unpopular side of the issues?
Comrade Chris Anu, I I did not join the revolution in 2017. As I've said to people, if John Gu Foncha was alive, he would talk to you about me. People, the things I cannot say here, because our people are not matured enough to get these aspects. Look, if you wake up late Dr. Kevin Gumne, he will remember. If you wake up late oh my God.
So how come you mention all these people? How come your ideas are so inconsistent? How come your own vision is so inconsistent with theirs? I mean, these people you mentioned.
Yeah, if you wake up them, they will tell you they told me at one point, when majority of the people start criticizing you, know that you're on the right foot. Look, when you go into a race,
let's get to the callers. Let's get back to the callers, please. Let's get back to the callers. Hello.
When you go into a race, the first 3 people get a prize. The rest of them are not.
Dr. Florentine, let's get back to the callers. Go on, please.
Yeah, the next point is that he said that they should work out some kind of unity and all that. That means time. If you have to work out something, then time is included. I want to ask him, if we stop fighting now and allow him to go along with what he is, will he be able to hold the Republic back? Then the second point that I have is that he says they know the position of Madame Mundi, and that is going to backfire. Are they a group that is fighting out something else? Because I don't understand. And the money he said they contribute in a week or a month. Why can't they come with it together? Let's be working so that we see that really neutrality is good and see what to do with this money. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let me get to the phones are ringing, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be a little patient and see and give them time to call in. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Secretary Chris. Good day.
Good day, sir. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Ground Zero.
Okay, what is in your mind?
Yes, I want to commend you for your show today. It's a great show, and I wish to say you're doing a great show. But I also want to congratulate Sama Thomas. There is one thing I wish to say. Any enabler has to be held accountable for. If an enabler is arrested, they have to be accounted for. Frunzi had his luck that he was arrested and he was released. So, Madame Mundi has been arrested. It's a good job that the ADF has done, but I have just one problem with the ADF, and this has proven the supremacy of Siseko. If ADF can arrest Madame Mundi and they are afraid to demand for the release of the Naira 10 because they know if Siseko is out here, nobody will be able to put him down because he is the one that the Ambazonian people believe. People like Mancho BBC, people like Siseko Ayutabe and the Naira 10, the Ambazonian people believe in them, in leadership. And that is why you see there is one problem in this revolution. I have seen that each and every Ambazonian has ego. In every group, there is ego. Ambazonians are full with a lot of ego and envy. If something is coming from you, Ambazonians will not want you to progress if it is coming from Chris Ano. If they would rather prefer if it's not Ayaba doing it, they will not put support to it. That is why we can never unite, because there is a lot of ego and there is a lot of envy. I wish to tell my brother who is from the CDN, Florentine, you have never advocated for those who have been killed. That lady has never advocated. People like Weber, they have advocated. The senator who was killed in Bamenda, those are people who have at least advocated. Then how can you say they should release someone who has been Comrade Sama Thomas asked you a very good question. If somebody poisoned your sister or your brother, and your friend is conniving with that person, and you were unable to answer that question, this is how biased you can be. And you say you stand for Ambazonia, you are a typical liar. Because if you can stand with enablers, then you are a typical liar. You don't stand for total independence of Ambazonia.
All right.
You are the people who stand for union. You are unionists.
All right. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call. Remain safe out there, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let us see who is next. This is Ground Zero. Okay. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Calling from Victoria, correct? Hello.
I'm calling from Victoria.
Okay, sir. Go on. What is in your mind?
Yeah.
He's having a bad network there, unfortunately. Let's take this other call here. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Secretary Chris.
This is the Honorable Ann.
Thank you. That's true. That's me.
Okay.
I just want to quickly thank you for the great show. I want to thank Comrade Sama Thomas for not disappointing me. And in the beginning, Secretary Chris, I wanted to ask you where you got these two doctors from, because you hear the titles and then what you expect from them is just the contrary. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to appreciate you for bringing them here to expose their ignorance and pretense to Ambazonians. To the first doctor, whether I don't know if that was Dr. Asibo or what.
Hold on there a little bit. Unfortunately, we lost Dr. Asibong. The camera was on and off, so we couldn't continue with him. But I hope that next time I'll be able to bring him back. Go on, please.
Okay, yeah, because there is a robust statement he used here that he's not contributing and that others are contributing. He has asked others to do that on his behalf, and that is his. But he is blaming us for not having weapons or arming the fighters enough to block the Ambazonians. But he has never contributed, and that is what many people on this platform are advocating. They don't give a dime and they keep telling us we are not doing this, we are not doing that. How can we do that if all of them sit behind, fold their hands and ask others to do that on their behalf? Are the people in control of their bank account or managing their bank account? You can't fold your arms in the midst of a revolution and war and you say you cannot contribute because of this or that. Then the blood of the innocent is on your head. And to my doctor, to the famous Dr. Florentine, who happens to be the president of IPOA or something like that, he can not shamelessly sit here and try to lobby people to join his failed coalition for surrender, claiming what use is that? As the president of the IPO, what is their agenda? That is the question I'm asking him. Is the IPO advocating for one Cameroon or for separation? And how can a doctor base his arguments on allegations telling you collected money in Switzerland when you have never been to Switzerland, as you rightly say? So why is he crying more than the bereaved that Senator Mundi should be released? Is he a relative of Mundi's or what? Because the family should have been the one here or on social media platform advocating that they should release their sister or their auntie or their mother. But he is coming here deliberately to stop anything that will happen to her. Is he paid to do that?
Maybe Madam Mundi is a good donor for IPOA. Who knows? Dr. Florentine.
Yeah, but then he should be clear here. He should not take Ambazonians for fools, because here he has refused to answer pertinent questions. So I want him to tell us clearly where he stands. What is the agenda of that IPO? Thank you, Secretary Chris.
Thank you for the call, ma'am. Thank you for the call. I will have him answer your question after we finish taking all the calls. Let's get back to Ground Zero. Hello.
Yes, hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
From ground one.
Ground one. Wonderful. All right. What is your contribution?
Yes. I think what I so-called Dr. Watt is, I think Pobia is better than that so-called doctor talking there. Yes. Pobia and what the presidency, they are better than this idiot talking here, because he cannot be thinking that that woman has been beside a young girl that was killed. She never came out to talk on the behalf of the child, and he is there supporting the woman, that the woman should not be killed. I think the barrister Comrade Sama said the right thing. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the call. We have 6 minutes to round up the show. Let's see if this caller from Victoria has a good network. Hello. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. You dropped out before your network was not good. So go on, sir.
Yeah, I just want to make you to understand that just give us some few time. We are going to tell you on your next coming show. We are going to tell you about Regina Mundi more and the plan with the ADF, Walter Song and Peter Mafani Musonge.
Okay.
We are carrying out our investigation, and that's just a clown. Even though we are uploading them for a job well done, it is a scam, it is a mafia, it is a game. We are down here carrying out our investigation. We'll get back to you. We'll give you the right information about Senator Regina Mundi and all what is going on. Because we, the Ambazonia, we are not again to be deceived the second time. We are out for a mission for Goya.
Okay.
Taking him in custody, it is a game plan. Portason, Musonge, ADF, and their leaders. So we know all what is going on, and we are going to come up with the fact in the days ahead.
All right. I can't wait to hear back from you with what you find out.
Yes, sir. Even after, I will give you a call behind.
Okay.
And I will give you some information. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay, great. Okay, let's see. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Secretary.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
From Ground Zero.
Okay, and what is the contribution?
Yeah, I'm glad to be connected to your show this evening again.
Okay.
And I'm excited with the debate going on.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that it was a good debate.
All right.
But in every revolution, people must have their own way of seeing things. So I want to first thank you for bringing the doctors who were on the set today. The other man who just disappeared, I think that you need to call him later and actually find out from him if he is an Ambazonian first, because you cannot be an Ambazonian and you say you are not contributing and you rather ask people to do it on your behalf. We don't know whether you are not doing anything for living. Even if you do not have your children who are housing you in Europe or in America should be rich enough to sponsor what is going on the ground. I think that point is clear.
Okay.
And I want to also say that the same measure that should be taken against those we call them enablers in Yaoundé who are working with La Republic. The same measures should also be taken against those who are in the diaspora, and they are doing nothing as far as the revolution is concerned.
All right. Thank you, sir, for the call. Thank you, sir, for the call. I believe they hear you and they do their best. Thank you for the call. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to, I think, make that the last call for the show and call it a day for the show. Dr. Florentine, let me give you, please, just 1 minute, Let's round this up at the bottom of the hour, just about 2 minutes ago. Please, you have the microphone.
Yeah, as I have said, there is Operation Frogs Must Go, which is a diluted version of equation balancing, where whatever happens to any Ambazonian should be effected on a La République du Cameroon citizen anywhere in the world, even. We have promoted that. IPOA-GovC like Babanfor, Paache, are carrying that message, and a good number of other people. Frogs Must Go means the ADF and all the fighting groups, all the Ambazonia Liberation Forces, the Ambazonia Security Network under the Directorate of Security of the IPOA-GovC, the Ambazonia Intelligence Agency must work together to chase all La République du Cameroon citizens anywhere in our territory. And so that is our policy position. And it is not only about Mrs. Mundi. We have said we are not going to hurt.
How about Ambazonian citizens in the order of Regina Mundi, Paul Atanganji, John Gute?
No. We can meet them, give them political education, but not kill, not hurt, not harass them in ways that some others have done. It's unfortunate. We are only 8 million, Comrade Chris, and we must show the international community we are the good guys, not the bad guys.
We are short of 8 million. One is
no, we should not even, not only Mrs. Regina Mundi, and people don't realize this. I want to say this. The intelligence agency of the IPOA confirmed to me and actually briefed me before I came to this show. Mrs. Regina Mundi's children and relatives have been helping Ambazonians stranded in the diaspora, have been helping Cameroonians, Nigerians.
What do you mean? What do you even mean by helping Ambazonians stranded in the diaspora? What do you mean by that?
Look, there are a lot of our people who can't even feed themselves in the diaspora, not to talk of IDPs that...
So you mean they are able to help Ambazonians stranded in the diaspora, and Ambazonians are being killed in front of Mundi's eyes in Bayele, or what they call it, in Bamenda? Remember that little girl that was killed by a police officer? And homes are being burned down in Bamenda, in Garibu, in Ndu, in Bale, in Guzang, in Pinyin. And she says nothing, and you want us to believe that she's a patriot because her children are helping some displaced Ambazonians in the diaspora?
Comrade Chris Anu, let's be serious. Barrister Kemende was so vocal, and where did he end up? He was killed.
A lot of people killed him because he was vocal.
No.
You can never put Barrister Kemende in the same class with Mundi.
But people will do things differently.
Barrister Kemende supported this struggle. His heart was in this struggle, I can assure you. He put in money. He did everything he could do to support this struggle. The fact that it was never mentioned out there, we know who is supporting us. Even some of them who are still in there.
Look, what I know is I've got the intelligence, the reports. Mama Regina Mundi.
I don't know where this your own intelligence is coming from.
They have been helping.
Comrade Sama, we are over the time here. Comrade Sama, please take 1 minute to round up, please.
Thank you, Secretary Chris, and I want to appreciate Dr. Florentine, who is saying that Madame Regina Mundi need to be taught. I last seated debating with you. Regina, they want to teach me, or I am the one to go teach my Mundi. With that said and done, I want to remind some Cameroonians of the coming day of shame. That 20th May is at the corners, and some plans are carrying out to test our ability to either say something for or against, and we must not fall into that trap. But Southern Cameroon, that the day of shame is coming, and everybody must stay in his or her house to avoid being line of fire so far as shame is coming. So, Secretary Priest, thank you once more for having me in this show, and Comrade Florentine.
All right, Dr. Florentine, Comrade Samuel Thomas, it was a pleasure to have you. It was a great debate here, and I look forward to having you back. Unfortunately, Dr. Asibong, the connection was very poor. We couldn't keep him in the connection. I hope that some other time that we establish a good connection with him, we will bring him back, no matter what where he navigates to in his thought, in his ideas. We always accommodate that here at ABS. If not, Dr. Florentine will not be here, I guess, right? So, again, thank you very much for coming in to be part of the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to call it a night here, and I look forward to being back here on Saturday with a powerful interview. You do not want to miss that at all. You do not want to miss that powerful interview coming to you from ABS on the Friday. So you stay tuned. You stay tuned for that. You stay tuned for that interview on the Friday. In the meantime, I'd like you to know that the APP Amber Peace Plan meeting is coming up tomorrow, and this time it is not just open for stakeholders, it is open to every, it is not just open only to the leaders, the counties and cabinet members. It is open to everybody who wants to come in, who has the time to come in and contribute something. So the APP meeting tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, is open for all to come in. So that is it. Again, thank you for tuning in. Let me leave you with this really wonderful piece of music here I came across. Take a look. Good night. God bless.
Honorable Joseph Wirba gathers Ambazonians. The time for his long-awaited great vision for the liberation of Ambazonia has come. The vision that inspired him to stand up for Southern Cameroons in Cameroon's parliament to condemn Ambazonia's subjugation. The vision that got the oppressors hunting for his head. Wirba's vision for the freedom of Ambazonia is even stronger and clearer today than before. Let's come together, stand by him and with him. Join him in Stuttgart, Germany for the great come together on freeing Ambazonia. Wirba now has a direct route to Ambazonia's liberation. All routes lead to Stuttgart, Germany on Saturday, May 14th. Be there. Honorable Joseph Wirba gathers Ambazonians. The time for his long-awaited great vision for the liberation of Ambazonia has come. The vision that inspired him to stand up for Southern Cameroons in Cameroon's parliament to condemn Ambazonia's subjugation. The vision that got the oppressors hunting for his head. Wirba's vision for the freedom of Ambazonia is even stronger and clearer today than before. Let's come together, stand by him and with him. Join him in Stuttgart, Germany for the great come together on freeing Ambazonia. Wirba now has a direct route to Ambazonia's liberation. All routes lead to Stuttgart, Germany on Saturday, May 14th. Be there.
Deux grands noms, Sheikh Bidens et Madilou, qui ont voulu participer à cette fête, qui ont voulu souhaiter à la fois un joyeux anniversaire et surtout célébrer cette victoire. Madilou et Sheikh Bidens qui chantent pour le président et pour Madame Eva Mogondimba. Madilou, sous vos ovations, Madilou, le grand Madilou.
70e anniversaire, Yamokundi Wabakundi. Le président Omar Bongo Ondimba, le doyen. Kozala boboto na mokili na ndimi ya solo efutaka. Lifuta ya nzambe leki lifuti nyonso ya mokili o. Ala ponaka biponela te, yango aponi président Bongo Ondimba. Kozala boboto na mokili na ndimi ya solo efutaka. Lifuta ya nzambe leki lifuti nyonso ya mokili o. Nzambe aponaka biponela te o, yango aponi président Bongo. Soki aponaki yo po ayebaki okozala mokambi malamu ya peuple gabonais, Omar Bongo Ondimba. Soki aponaki yo po ayebaki okozala exemple monene ya peuple africain, Omar Bongo Ondimba. Soki abateli yo po ayebi boboto na yo na bato, na kokaba na yo na bato, Omar Bongo Ondimba. Fula tukusa moyo kisi, baninga bandeko na mama Edith basepeli bon anniversaire Bongo Ondimba. Soki aponaki yo po ayebaki okozala mokambi monene ya peuple gabonais, Omar Bongo Ondimba. Soki aponaki yo po ayebaki okozala exemple monene ya peuple africain, Omar Bongo Ondimba. Soki abateli yo po ayebi boboto na yo na bato, na bokambi peuple gabonais, Omar Bongo Ondimba. Pula tukusa mboyo kokisi, baninga bandeko na Meredite Bongo, bon anniversaire. Bon anniversaire, président Bongo Ondimba.
Bongo Ondimba, bon anniversaire.
Yeah, Bongo.
Que Dieu te garde le plus longtemps possible.
Papa Yabana.
Bongo Ondimba, bon anniversaire.
Mokonzi wa bakonzi.
Que Dieu te garde le plus longtemps possible.
Tosengi na Nzambe abatela yo, abakisela yo mingi, sante malamu, omoi molai ye.
Ondimba, bon anniversaire.
Bon anniversaire.
Que Dieu te garde le plus longtemps possible.
bandeko mama Edith peuple gabonais nyonso souhaité président Bongo bon anniversaire.
Bongo Dimba bon anniversaire.
Papa Yamana,
que Dieu te garde le plus longtemps possible. Bongo Dimba bon anniversaire. Que Dieu te garde le plus longtemps possible.
Bon anniversaire, nos vœux les plus sincères. Et c'est moi ton division mitema, les lompetos sakana, yaya bongo.
Bongo Dimba bon anniversaire.
Maman Edith bongo.
Que Dieu te garde le plus longtemps possible.
À souhaiter bon anniversaire.
Bongo Dimba bon anniversaire. Que Dieu te garde le plus longtemps possible.
Bon anniversaire, Papa Bana, le président Omar Bongo Ondimba. Maman Edith Bongo Ondimba. Sunga Papa. Amour et solidarité.
Applaudissez, applaudissez.
l'ingénieur Toumba Kinkela.